Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout, presented by Two Hoots Hard Iced Tea, real brew tea, big taste, bold refreshment. Don't just give a hoot, give two. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Zachticum with you here live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube who will get to see my championship sauerkraut jar right here. There is the championship jar of sauerkraut that I won yesterday, fair and square. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy. Clicks for me. I appreciate that. After the fair sack race that I had. Big win by me. Just going to throw this out there. Dustyn with my Y is my full witness. Multiple people on the concourse crediting me with the victory, congratulating me with the victory. Straight up, no word of a lie. Bunch of kids like, you're the guy that won the sack race. Yes, I was. And they wanted fist bump and stuff.
All right.
As we were leaving the stadium, a couple people yelled at me from their car.
Yep.
I was the big winner from that.
You're a hero.
And they all understood that. Jerry Haraxi immediately texting me after that race, telling me how much I destroyed everyone. A good night for me.
It's got to be rigged.
You schooled those young guys, LOL. Boom. That's how it went. That's why it was my redemption at ReMax, and it's nothing else. Even Huss called it my redemption. I am the champion of the sack race.
Okay.
Now, there were so many things that went wrong, though. Like
No, there wasn't. You
We
guys just were
lined
awful.
up.
And
I didn't even hear the countdown. Trev didn't even hear go.
That's because you guys weren't listening to Donovan.
Yeah.
He said 3, 2, 1, go. Boom. The guy that went first was Eric. Eric had the best
He had the
jump
good
out
jump?
of all that. So
Okay.
he got the advantage there, straight up. So he could whine all he wants, but he had the lead right off that split second. I was just faster going the other way. I also was the one that was smart enough to keep looking backwards to see where these horses were and where the end line was. Mm-hmm. And so then I saw Kylie was handing them out. So I was able to grab it, put it between my legs. I tried the gallop. Then I realized they're going to start running.
Yeah.
So I just bolted, and then it wasn't even close. When I bolted, by the time I didn't even know where to stop running.
You had it.
It wasn't like the distance I had. Even if Eric got the horse before me, it wasn't going to be close.
You're very nimble.
Thank you.
I noticed that.
Speedy.
Yeah, speedy.
I'm cardio, not strength. I have no strength.
Well, yeah, if there
But
was an
cardio,
EST
I've
combine,
got the cardio.
You've got
Like,
the
I
cardio.
would put you, if there was an EST combine, you would be the winner of the 40-yard dash. Probably all of them. I don't know. I'd have you first place, probably anything running. You were there. Like, you were quick. Because I was slow. Like, I was dead last. There's no way I was going to
stood like well behind all of us.
I know.
Like you were behind Trev
I know.
in the starting position.
There's a lot of...
Well, I will say, in the four of our defense, all four, I will defend Eric, Trev, and Zach here. They didn't tell us where the starting line was, and they didn't tell us where the end line was.
We thought you guys were going to run forward or hop forward in not potato sacks, whatever those were.
They were sponsored sacks.
Okay. And all of a sudden we see you guys start hopping backwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Dusty and I are like, what the hell's going on here? And then, yeah, it just seemed a little bit scrambly.
A bit, but in the end, I paid attention. I watched the surroundings.
Far as Dusty
And
says.
I don't care what Dusty says. He had his 3 hours to talk. He could back off now. His show's over.
It's your show now.
I just paid attention to the surroundings and rolled with the punches.
I don't know
and
if
took
you were the
advantage of
crowd
this.
favorite, though. But when you won,
don't
you got
care.
the respect.
I don't care if I'm the crowd. Why would I want it? I didn't need the crowds.
I don't know.
On my
It's-
side.
It's something to
I
be
think
said
I'd-
about being a people's champ.
I'm not, though. I'm very aware of that. Do you see the nasty chat? Do you see the Paris
Sometimes.
Jewelers inbox?
Yeah, some
There's
of them are
never
pretty
going to be a
funny.
chance I'm going to be the people's favorite.
You
going
owned
into
it, though.
And I'm going up against Eric. Like, and that's
Yeah,
why
it's a
everyone is
tough
going to
one.
be all on board. Like, I know that, like, if I was in Eric's spot and Eric was in my spot, no one would be talking about this. I'll say that right now. It's because I won. It's because I'm the champion here that Eric and Trev, like Trev before the race was, I'm going for this. I'm going for this. And then today on the morning show, I didn't try.
But apparently you told him to go for it.
He says, I'm going for it. I'm like, okay, you should. He's the one that kept saying, I'm going for it.
Rick kept saying that?
No, Trev.
Oh, Trev.
Yeah.
And then Trev loses and he goes, I was only giving it 50%.
Yeah, I heard that. Now, his initial plan was to do something else. Did he tell you what he was going to do?
No, I heard
Yes.
something about pushing me over.
Yes.
And we were hoping to see it. I'm not going to lie to you.
It would have been DQ.
I would also
Well, he's
say that
sacrificing his race.
he didn't need to do that.
Yeah, because I already,
There's clearly there was no opportunity for him to do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
he was already well ahead of me. And you guys had you guys thought with strategy as well, because you and Eric were wearing the flip flops.
I
And
took
then
them
also
off.
Trev. Yeah, you guys all took off your footwear.
Yeah.
Even Trev. But I tied my laces tight and kept my shoes on.
It worked really well.
Yeah, but see, like,
Even the players approved him.
because last year I did the sack race with Tommy.
Yeah, I fell.
And I put my flip flops in there, and that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because when you're trying to jump, you're worried about your flip flops, and so you couldn't get the real jump.
Yep.
You fell twice.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
went down hard. I had a great start, and then I fell, and then I fell again, and I just rolled to the finish line.
So this year when I went down, I was like, "Okay, I know my mistake from last year. It's take the flip flops off." And I should have told the guys that,
But you did.
but I did because I try making things fair.
You're a true athlete.
And against those
Competitive
400%,
advantage, I think
when
not.
it comes to cardio, against the pardon?
Competitive advantage, I think not.
No, there wasn't one.
True athlete. It's a will to
Again,
win.
Eric got the false start. Eric's the one that jumped first.
Eric was also crushing more beers than you.
I don't care. That's not my problem.
He was fueled up.
Not my problem. So
Now that you have the chip, though, the sauerkraut, the big
Yeah.
glass jar of sauerkraut,
Yeah.
you're not going to enjoy any of it.
it's a trophy. It's going to be go in my office as a sign to all three of you that this is what you could have won, but you couldn't because you weren't good enough.
It's just going to stare
Maybe we'll
you
have to,
down.
like, if we do this
No,
race,
that'll probably
if we,
sit there forever.
If we do this,
Knowing
I
him.
doubt it. I love sauerkraut.
Okay.
If we do this race next year, maybe I'll just have to put this on the line. I'll save this for next year and we'll re-put it on the line.
Okay.
Why is he making that face?
It'll last
It'll
how long?
It'll last
You
for-
put it
for a
on
long time.
sandwiches. Is that what you're going to do? You're going to put it on sandwiches?
Sandwiches. I have some hot dogs in my freezer that
Some
I need to cook
dogs?
and
Got
stuff.
some
Throw this on the
glizzies?
dogs. Yeah.
How about the
Sauerkraut's delicious.
Riverhawks at the end of the night hooking everybody up with free hot dogs?
That's insane. And they did that the last time I was at a game, too. Like,
Yeah.
they just had the big bins of it wrapped in tinfoil, and they're all walking around the concourse. Free hot dogs, free dogs, free dogs. Me and Trev got a
You
dog.
had 6.
It was great.
How many did you have?
Just one.
Oh, just one.
Yeah. No, I could have probably
I was so
taken a
full.
couple more, but
Yeah.
yeah, no. There's no way I could have had more than one dog at that time, but Trev got his ketchup and everything.
Nice.
And it's beautiful that they do that. Like,
It was very
we were
nice
talking
of them.
about it. Like, better than wasting food.
Yeah, exactly. It was, you know what? There's probably 2,500, 3,000 people there maybe last night because the smoke was kind of.
Also, Mondays are a tougher draw.
Yeah.
When you're starting
game,
the week. I could probably find that pretty quick here.
And the Riverhawks, like, that was a good battle. Nice, exciting walk-off win.
I don't know
Guys
if the
smacked
boys
one
talked
to
about
left
the
field.
umpire.
Oh,
Today.
that was a terrible
The ump
call.
with an awful call that almost
Awful
cost
call.
the Riverhawks that game.
Awful call.
Terrible call. Gave him basically 2 outs.
Yeah.
Because the guy bunted it. It went foul in front of him.
And he said it was fair ball.
Is fair, but the first base ump waved it foul.
Then they
and
convened.
Then they convened, and no, it's an out. It was a trash call.
I think the first base ump didn't want to show up home plate.
Oh, easily.
That was it.
Guaranteed.
Whoever the crew chief was. I'm assuming it was the home plate guy yesterday.
It was horrendous. It was,
It was
a bad
it was
call.
a really bad call.
Like, you didn't even need video to realize if that was a good call or not.
It was a bad call.
But then a great walk-off, 2 RBI, single, I guess it would be officially.
Smacked it to left.
Big win, big walk-off. What a way to end that game.
That was great. That was great. And the people that were there last night at ReMax Field had a great time. I love how the boys were giving it to the t-shirt cannon guy, the little tuck and roll with the shooting it over the back of the roof.
Well, and
Can
then
I
he shot it into the same spot, too. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
in between the levels, so the lower level and the upper seats, and it was in between the walkways. So really nobody was there.
Nobody caught
and then shot it once again. So he missed one shot, I think hit the target in that first spot, missed another one, tried to do the somersault, and then hit it in the same spot he hit the first time.
Right. And like there was a little bit of wind and it pushed it back because he fired it like straight up into the air. Not a great showing for him last night.
Well,
Not his best
I will
work.
say this. Mooner and I went to a lot of games last year together. This isn't an issue that's new to this year. This
this
was
is
an
an
issue last year.
ongoing thing.
This was an issue last year.
He's
where we
shooting worse
joked
than
about
Barsh
it.
Beatty kicks field goals.
They were constantly leaving the park, and we joked about it. This year, game one, it looked like they maybe had it figured out.
Okay.
He came out, he did his somersaults, and he kind of angled them up a little higher, and he was landing them. And Mooner and I were like, oh, maybe they figured this out. I haven't actually been able to get to a game until yesterday, but based on all accounts, it reverted back to last year's problems. This isn't a 2024 issue. This is a 2023-24 issue with the Edmonton Riverhawks, where this guy, again, as the Morning Boys talked about it, probably should roll back, like no pun intended, roll back these somersaults.
Yeah.
And start just focusing on his performance of the T-shirt cannon. Because
Where's
it's
the
not
backup
there.
T-shirt cannon
It's
guy?
not there right now.
Or crazy idea, just throw the t-shirts.
We got that net.
No, it's way more fun with the T-shirt cannon.
You also have that net, though. It's a pretty high net.
It is a high net. It's got to be
Yeah,
what, 40,
yeah, you got to shoot
40
Unless,
feet in the air.
like, they could, I guess, go into the stands and do it.
and just fire them
But
at
they get to bring the
people.
cart out and they get to shoot
No,
it.
it's fun the way, like, it's not hard. You've got like 150 feet to work with. You should be able to figure this out.
2,752 people yesterday.
So I was close.
Yeah.
24.
The total attendance this year for the Riverhawks so far, 86,489.
Awesome.
Last year they hit just over 100,000. This is their final homestand of the regular season, I believe. So
Yeah.
between today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so 6 more games. They need to get, what is that, 14,000?
13,000.
Just over 13,000
Oh,
over those
well,
games.
the
So
smoke
they need
sucks,
to
but-
average over 2,300 fans basically to hit another 100,000. So they're doing that this weekend.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guarantee there'll be
Great vibe down
a
there.
couple 6,000ers or something like that.
They've lost 8 guys from the team that had tied for first in the first half of the season in the division, and either back to college or they had a bunch of guys get drafted to the MLB. So
Which is a good problem.
that's a great problem to have. It's a summer college ball league. That's what it is. It's a developmental league and keep guys playing and in shape and all that stuff. And it's a great product. That was
fun
my
night.
3rd game this year. I had a great time. I've always had a great time at those games. They do a fantastic job. The kids were loving it. We were debating, like, if you catch a foul ball, do you keep it? You give it to the damn kid.
See, and I started convincing, like, because I had the question, I threw it to Dusty at one point, and it was like, what about if you, like, do you want to not take it to Marshall or Elizabeth?
I
And I
think
said, if you have a kid at home, does it change things? And Dustin with the Y had a good
what did Dustyn with the
solution
Y
for
say?
this. If there's a kid immediately around you,
Okay.
you hand it.
Sure.
If a kid's a couple rows ahead of you or like a bit away from you, you could hold on to that ball.
But they're going to look at you with the puppy dog eyes.
He's got a kid at home.
And what if he's got a glove? I'm giving it to the kid. I caught one last year. I give it to that's the first foul
Sure.
ball I ever caught.
How many rows away was this kid?
Literally, he was running in the aisle because he wanted to catch it. I happened to catch it.
See, and that's where I still be like,
And it's
if
here.
you have kids, I understand where it's like, there's no kid immediately around me. I'm keeping this. And if a kid comes running up to me in 20 seconds, I'm not giving it to them, potentially.
I recollect, again, at a Blue Jays game 6-7 years ago, the one I talked about the other day where Stoff left after the 2nd inning because he finished his candies and was bored. Jack Michaels caught a ball that day, a foul ball. And not only did he, like, catch it off the hop, he, like, put his hand in the air and went like this, and he
celebrated
celebrated. There were kids everywhere, and he kept it. And obviously, I mean, his son at the time was much younger. I think Tyler was probably like 8 or 9 years old, and he gave it to him. But still,
See, yeah, if your kid's not there, that realistically wouldn't know if you didn't bring it home, right? You
Well, if
give
you're
it
at a
away
Blue
to
Jays
somebody.
game,
You
you
could
could be
have
on
made
the
somebody's
TV.
day.
Jack
That
might
is
have told
true,
his
yeah.
kid before the game, hey, we've got these great seats, watch on TV. And then on the camera, it shows that he got it. And especially if he's standing up waving, he might have been on
Dad
Sportsnet.
catches it, gives it
He
away
might
to
have been on
another kid.
Sportsnet, and the kid's going, oh, awesome, I'm going to get the ball. And boom, doesn't get it.
Yeah, see, that would be upsetting. I would be sad that way. But if you caught one at a Riverhawks game, realistically, I would. I don't have any kids, but I got nieces and they're
are
young,
you
right?
making an argument for keeping it? Is that what you're doing right
No, I'm making an argument actually for giving it away
Oh,
because
okay,
if a
good.
kid's there, they're excited to be at the
Yeah.
game and they have this opportunity to be there in person to catch the foul ball.
Yeah.
And they don't catch it, but you give it to them. You just made their day.
now?
What if
Absolutely.
there's 3 or 4 kids? How do you decide which one gets it and who you're
The
going to
cute-
Rock,
Cutest
paper,
one.
scissors. It's
Oh.
in between.
Whew.
What?
The
So you're
cutest
going
one.
to decide which one kids are ugly.
Oh, stop it. They're all adorable. Yesterday there was the two kids, the brother and sister. They might have been 2 and 3 years old, not even. And the
running
dad,
in front of us?
Yeah, the dad would put them, like, lift them onto the row behind, and then they would run around. I thought it was adorable. It was hilarious. It was a great time.
It's great for kids.
Yeah.
It is a fun time. I'm very sad that I've only gone to 2 games this year.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think it was at 12 of them. Just various reasons haven't been able to get out there this year.
Yeah.
And when I was there, I was just like, man, I miss this.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
like the following week,
It's
it's like, man, I've been missing this. And it's just...
Rick,
the best.
It's good when you go with Eric. He, this is like for baseball, football, basketball. I don't know if he goes out to many hockey games, but he finds all like the nooks and crannies of whatever venue you're at, and he finds like the little tricks. So I'm not gonna say what it is, but he knows where to go for shortest line. For
the one
food
time
and
he
beer.
took me to one of those lines, it was long.
Oh, stop it!
The first game this year, he's like, we're going to go this one's short. We went there, and even there's like, oh, I thought it was going to be quicker than this. It wasn't.
Yeah, well, yesterday it was like that.
But
Yes.
there weren't that many people there either.
I know. Like, you could have
Like
went
every
anywhere
line was
yesterday.
pretty
But
short.
okay, listen. So we go to the Canada Day game. I meet up with Dusty, Tam, and the kids, and then we went and sat with Bruce Ibsen. Shout out to Bruce. That night, great night. Anyway, Dusty's like, I found the one place where the line wasn't ridiculously crazy. I'm like, was it this one? He goes, yeah.
First
And I'm like,
base
that's
line,
the one.
far,
Rick goes,
far spot.
why do you got to give it away?
Because no one's going to go. Because I know which
Now
one
the
it is.
secret's out.
Because it wasn't.
It's out.
It was
Secret's
long
out.
the one time
You
I was
ruined
there.
it. Eric's little thing you ruined.
No, well,
No, you
wanna know
shared it to
something?
other people.
They're trying
Just
to
like
take
giving
away my
away the foul
victory
ball.
from yesterday, so screw it. What do I care?
You're vicious.
I had to why they're trying to discredit my victory. Why should I play nice here?
You won. You have sauerkraut. Bobby LaFrench says don't open it and unrefrigerate it. It'll blow up. Because he opened it, did not refrigerate it, and it blew up.
Okay.
He texted that in. So
Well, now
I'm
you
intrigued
just
by that
don't
one.
ever open it then.
you know
if
what?
it's
You
gonna
want to play
blow
a
up.
sick joke on him? Open it one day in his office. And
Then I just got to eat it. I'm cool.
okay.
Yeah,
I've got a jar in my fridge at home anyways right now. When that's over, like I probably will start cracking into this one. I'm
or
not
just
gonna
like
lie.
change it, like Indiana Jones. Just change it with a different one. Bring in a different jar. See if you
There
notice.
you go.
I would notice.
One day,
I am that
No, I'm not
insane
even
that I
gonna
would
say
notice,
that.
like
He
straight
is.
up.
You don't know Matthew.
Yeah. You haven't known me long
you
enough.
said
I would
it-
100% notice.
Well, yeah, you said if anyone goes into your office and like moves a single thing, like say like moves a coffee cup like
No, not
6
that.
inches or something, you know,
Not to
you
that
would know.
degree.
Yeah, I'm being over exaggerating.
Because somebody said they'd move my desk like an inch, and I'm like, I would know.
Move everything over 6
Yeah.
inches.
I think
one
I'd
day.
pretty much know.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm that insane. I'm that screwed in the head. I know it. I'm aware of it. It's not the best. People can mock me for it. I get it. Trust me. It's not easy living in my brain. I know that.
Oh my God.
It's.
The psychologist is down the hallway. You need. She's very nice. She look.
By the way, Surveyor Britt saying, what happened to the 9 beers, 9 dogs, 9 innings?
He
Matt, he
didn't
was a
do
big
it.
talker that could do that easily. Well, it's only my second game. Actually, when I was talking
And-
with Eric, I might do it Saturday.
Okay,
That's
and
the plan right now. If I go to the game Saturday, I'm trying it.
we went with Dustyn with a Y for a bite to eat and a couple of beers
Yeah,
beforehand.
well, and the reason for that was part of being a Nasty Club annual premium member put you into a draw for a few prizes. One of which was going to be a night out with the EST boys.
Yeah.
Dustyn with a Y was the big winner.
Yeah.
And so we took him out for a round. We went to Kelly's, had a bite out there, walked down to the park, had a great time at the park together.
Yep.
It was great hanging out with Dustyn with a Y. And now I think that prize is going to remain for
That was
the
fun.
24-25 year of
Yeah.
memberships. For anyone interested in, if you are a current member, it will auto renew whenever you paid for it. So if it was October, it'll auto renew in October. Your credit card will be charged. Same with November, whenever you purchased it. For those that didn't get into the annual memberships and would like to, those will open up in October. I got to now just curate how I'm going to, what I'm going to throw into it. But yeah, stay tuned. And if you want to cancel, make sure you cancel before the renewal date. You'll still get access to everything until that point. But it's coming. So if you want to try to win this for next year, when the annual premium member, it doesn't happen to just the annual members. It's the premium members
premiums.
go into the big draw. They get the special extra draw.
That was fun.
Which would be a night out with us, which we'll do again next year.
and can see the
awesome.
revenge at ReMax.
If that's what we
my
do again
goodness.
next year, sure.
That was your first time at a pub, at Kelly's pub?
At Kelly's pub. I
And
guess
what did
I've
you
been
think?
to a pub.
Okay, of course.
Well,
Pubs are
yes,
pubs.
yes.
What'd you
It
think?
was good, like
I
good
told you.
vibes. Like
Yeah.
I've been, I guess, to a Burns on White Ave, almost
Burns is
similar
good.
kind of vibes. Like
Yeah.
old bookstore or whatever it is. They got
Yeah.
the books upstairs
It's a
and
pub.
everything. I think I like Kelly's more because the music was really good. Like, I mean, I've been to a Burns at other times where it
Mm-hmm.
was like there was lots of people, but just to go down there on Monday night, enjoy it. It was good. The food was good.
Yeah.
The wings were great. Honey hot wings down there.
You got the honey hot?
Now I get why people go down there.
It's just
get
it's like an awesome neighborhood pub. Good staff, good food, good beers, and it's very convenient. Right by the arena.
Yeah, like short distance
Yeah.
away, short walk.
Yeah.
It's for me. It was right near the LRT stop that I got off Bay Enterprise.
There you go.
Then I got to take my my beer bat that I got, use it as protection on the way back.
Was it sketchy on the LRT?
No.
See, there you go.
Yeah, actually, I felt
they're
safe.
cleaning stuff up finally.
I
It's good.
like taking the LRT when I've had to do it a couple summers to go to like K days or
Yeah.
I've gone to
got
university
bad.
area for some
Football.
physio appointments and stuff, and it
physio,
was and football. It's nice. It's a nice, quick little thing.
It is relaxing too. Like when I went to school at Nate, I would always just wait to do my work sometimes. Like if it was like, I don't know, whatever show prep I had for the radio show, or I don't know, like typing up commercials or whatever we were doing in class, I would just wait for when I was on the train to do it because it's like an hour and a half or something, depending on the wait time in between during winter and whatever. And I would just do my work on there. And it's nice and relaxing in the morning. Like it kind of wakes you up. You get a nice cup of coffee and just wait on there, go all the way down the LRT line and have a good time. And it was fairly clean. Like I mean, you run into some people sometimes if you're taking it every day, but I think I had a pretty good good experience taking the LRT to school and stuff. But that beer bat definitely made me feel more protected. Thanks, Jay, for that.
Because that beer bat would have really survived a few hits.
It was funny because Jay's like, "Do you want a beer bat, Zach?" And he's like, "No." And then he's like, "Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do." And then he was very excited about it.
I'm not excited about my pour though. That's a true
terrible
redemption.
pour.
that I made.
You pushed like you just went too quick early because you're saying it's too small at the bottom.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
like
go
it funnels
slower at the
down.
bottom
Yeah.
and let
Yeah,
it
yeah,
fill
yeah.
up. I would say.
The
Yeah,
beer
and
bat's fun.
And I poured it all over my hand. Like I've done that before mistakenly, but I had it angled incorrectly because I didn't have the spout or the hole. I don't even know what you would call that. Like when you open the tab, just
The opening?
the opening. Well, yeah, the can opening, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it straight on, so it was angled weird. So it like rolled off, and then
it did.
poured out
Yeah, it
through the cracks and stuff, and it was not a good sight. So.
Pat texted in Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999 says, "I caught a foul ball 2 weeks ago, gave it to the little girl 2 rows in front of me. You look like a hero. It'll make them so much happier than taking it home to give to my kid." Pat, I'm with you on that one. Amen.
And for the most part, I am with that. But that to Dustyn with the wine, our conversation there, that's true. Like that's right in front of you. If
But there's
there's no
kids
kid
everywhere at these
immediately
games.
around you or something, like, wait, you don't want to see your kid smile potentially? Like,
Oh
you don't
my
think there's.
God.
Well, I shouldn't say you don't want to see it, but like, your kid's not going to smile when you come home and be like, look what dad got you.
Does it hurt to go a couple rows down and be like, "Here you go"? If there's not
It's
a kid
not that part.
immediately
It's
around.
the idea of making your kid happy to me. That's the part I'm thinking
out of
of.
sight, out of mind. If
Are you sure? Like that, if that kid, you bring that home to your kid and the ball goes to your kid, how happy might they be?
Could be happy.
I'm just saying that I think there is a value to some adults potentially keeping it if it's going to a kid at home. I get it.
The magic of the ballpark, of the venue, of the experience.
So if I go to Seattle
Yes.
and I catch one,
Right.
I'm on the road. I
No,
couldn't bring
you
that
give
home
it to
if
a
I had
kid.
kids and bring it to
Give it to
my
a kid.
Like I caught this in Seattle.
You give it to a kid.
Yeah.
You go buy a souvenir for your kid in Seattle.
Or postcard it. No.
No, you don't postcard it.
Do people still postcard? Do you think?
I'm sure there is postcards.
There is, but does anyone actually do it?
I think so.
I hope so. That was always fun as a kid. Like you'd send a postcard to like
Yeah?
aunt or something.
You did
like
that?
As a family, we would. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
we'd do those things just to see. Sometimes we'd beat them back home.
The postcard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you
mail.
send it late or something? Then it's like, oh, they got the postcard. No, we're here too. Look at that.
Can't say I've ever postcarded.
Really?
Really?
Oh,
Have
I
you?
postcarded. Yeah, well, I went to Ontario to see my family, and I sent a couple of my friends like a postcard from there, and it was just a picture of a moose. Like, it was pretty funny because it was like I didn't leave Canada or anything, but
Yeah.
I'm like, hey guys, I'm in Ontario, and then sent it
Nice.
there, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to hear from you.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm alive. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
I just want more mailing between people. There's something nice about opening up your mailbox and getting a piece of letter.
Usually it's invoice.
I know.
or
That's why it's nice. It'd be nice to go
bill.
back to like
bill.
I need to get a pen pal.
Oh. Okay.
the Iwanyk pen pal, EST pen pals.
Send a letter. Go exchange it between mail. It's nice getting something in the mail. No, you don't find nostalgia when you get something in the mail that's
No.
not a bill or an invoice or speeding
Got a
ticket
check
or a
yesterday
flyer
from the MLB. It was nice.
from MLB.
Yeah, because the NHL Network.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was my first bit of mail in a while. It was
Yeah.
nice.
Well, that's a nice
Costco flyer came in last week. It was good.
Wow. I like getting mail. Like my auntie sends me mail all the time, and I open it up, and it's just like, well, when I graduated, I got a bunch of cards and stuff, and you got the stack of cards you keep, and you're like, oh, I remember that. Like, I like the mail.
Thank you.
I'm on your side with that.
Rams fan. My kid at home would be crushed if they knew I caught a ball at a Riverhawks game and didn't bring it home. I only lied to my kids about the candy store being closed, not adding this to the list of things I lied to my kids about.
Don't tell them you caught one.
You don't have.
What if
don't
they
have
ask?
to lie?
What if they say, "Did you
Say,
get a
no,
ball?"
I didn't.
That's that. Now you're lying,
Oh my god.
and that's what he's saying.
Well, there's the underlying reasons
now you're
too.
fibbing.
Like if
That's a lie.
I didn't get one for you. That's you're stretching it.
That's lying to your kid.
That's a fib.
That's lying to your kid.
That's a harmless
I understand,
fib.
and that's my point. Is that I understand if somebody's keeping it and it's going to a kid at home, I could live with it. Am I giving it to a kid? 100%. But I understand if someone catches one and they don't give it, I'm not going to be as mad unless there's a kid like right in front of them or something.
would be a tough decision.
Rams fan just puts out the perfect scenario for that. At least to me.
It would be a tough decision.
Bones.
But what if the kid, like, say you went or something, and you ask your kid, do you want to go to the ballpark? And they're like, no. And then you catch the ball.
Okay, that's now
we're
adding
getting
another.
deep.
Now
Now
you're
we're
adding a
getting deep.
different different value on this one because I'll go like, yeah, I'm not bringing that home to the kid because the kid could have come and got the ball.
Okay, I'm just trying to find the line.
I like that one.
Yeah.
But if I'm going with it and I didn't invite the kid, are you reading Larsy's text?
No, I'm reading Big Slam Nasties.
Oh, okay, Larsy, he texted, my wife and I were at a Vegas Aviators game last year, and after the game, we're walking to the car, and a little kid walked up to and gave me a ball.
What?
And I got a kick out of it.
That's amazing. I want to go see one of those games. They built a new ballpark. I went to the old Vegas Stadium,
Yeah.
Cashman Field,
Where
It
they
was-
played the XFL a couple years ago.
Is that where they played it?
Not this past season because they didn't go to Vegas, but when it was XFL, UFL last year, that's where they played, and they got like 8,000 fans.
Oh
Full
wow!
fan.
And
It
I
was
think it
awful.
only sat like 10,000.
Yeah, it was bad.
Brett Laurie was on the team.
Oh, Brett Laurie.
Yeah, they.
Married to Carol Lang, if I'm not mistaken. Or
What?
is that Ricky Romero? No, that's Ricky Romero. Ricky Romero's with Carol Lang.
To Carol. Oh, the soccer player.
Yes. Yes. Who career injuries
She had
derailed
knee
that.
stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she was her and Christine Sinclair, the U19. Like it was like, look
They're
at these
very
two.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Brett Laurie, and who was the other guy that was a big prospect for the Jays at the time? But anyway, yeah, it was neat. But I heard the new ballpark in Henderson, or not Henderson, Summerlin's supposed to be amazing. I want to go to an AV. I'm jealous. I'd go to.
You gonna read Big Slam Nasty's text?
Yeah, Maddie also likes getting up to change the channel on the TV.
Manually?
Yeah.
That's well, he's talking about
Bless you.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't use drive-through or something. Maybe this gives me the advantage of that cardio in this thing. Is I actually have no problem with that.
Oh, boy.
I'll get up, and that's why I had that little extra jump yesterday in my victory of the sack race.
Maybe that's why I lost, because I got a remote for months. Like I had to get up and manually change the TV because I lost my remote and was too lazy to buy a new one. But then I resorted back to it. See, I'm wondering.
Okay.
I'm wondering if
What?
Matty lost, would he have used the fact that he had shoulder
No.
surgery?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I know I can't defend that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
you're
can't.
using
There's
your
nothing with
legs.
shoulder that, like, okay, that doesn't. No. If I lost, I lost. I
Fair,
can
yeah.
lose. I'm okay losing.
Right.
It's the way
If I get bested, I get bested. I'm cool with that. But if I win, I'd like people to be cool with it too and not all go rigged, and there we are. So it's disappointing seeing the true colors of some of the people here at EST. It's disappointing to see, you know?
Jake from Ontario texting in says, "This is Jake from Ontario. This is to your talk yesterday on Jason Bond Sr. because we're going to be doing the Zachticum.
Well, that was before that, though. Yesterday on the Oil Stream yesterday,
Yeah.
we got into, I don't even know how we fully got into it. We got into obscure Oilers draft picks.
Yes.
And you were telling the story of Jason Bond Sr.
I asked if
and
you knew about him.
Pat Quinn.
Steve Kelly.
Yes.
And those stories.
Shane
Doan, those drafts. And you're
Yeah.
telling those to Zachticum there, which was
right.
wonderful and love. And we learned that Jason Bond Sr. like runs a speed track or something.
A small raceway and amusement park. Jake from Ontario says, "I played against Jason Bond Sr. 9 years ago in the Allen Cup Hockey League in Ontario. Only reason I knew was because my dad told me who he was and what a bust he was for the Oilers." Jake from Ontario, yes. That's kind of cool, though. Was he still good? Or was he good at all?
Oh.
A lot of those pros, man, the way they can skate, it doesn't leave them. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, even if you're not like good at that level, you're still a fantastic hockey player. Like playing against somebody even who's in beer league, you could tell like you would see if they have that ability to skate. I'd be like, all right,
If you make the NHL, at some point in your life, you were the best player in your like division or whatever.
Of course.
Like you were by far better than everyone else. It doesn't matter if you were like Zach Sturtini type fighter in the NHL. At some point in your life, you were just clear and cut better than everyone kind of in your area or right near that top.
Correct.
And it's why it always like with Strutty. I go to him like there would sometimes be the criticisms of Strutty or something like this guy was just the seventh defenseman. Yeah, he played over 700 games in the NHL. And if the two of you went on the ice one-on-one right now, he'd whoop your ass.
Crush you, yeah.
Like, it wouldn't even be close. Like,
Yeah.
he would just skate circles around you, and you'd have nothing against him.
Yeah.
There is a clear, like, from guy who played just a game in the NHL to everyone else, there's a clear jump.
Huge, yeah.
And then from that guy to, like, a McDavid's, there's another jump, obviously. But there is a clear separation from everyone else and getting to the NHL. Yeah. And it's
I love the
Belsey, you know, Gage or Cass, all of them. Like,
those guys,
you
man.
have nothing against these guys.
That's why I love when we get people texting in and be like, if I played on McDavid's line, I'd score 25 in the NHL. No, you wouldn't. We wouldn't be able to keep up. No. You couldn't think the game fast enough. You're a beer leaguer for a reason.
I'd like to joke and think I could get a goal because I would stand in front of the net and McDavid would put it off me somehow into the net.
If you caught up to him.
Yeah, that, like, but eventually they'd have like maybe the puck in the offensive zone how to get there. That's maybe.
Yeah.
That's
I
like
mean, the way
extent
that
I'd
you were
go.
running with the horse, I think that you'd maybe make it in front of the net.
Just do that with skates.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
That's the
difference
tricky
part.
part,
I couldn't
yeah.
do that part. But no, that's the thing. Like, and that's I just love when people would sometimes, or there'd be some people in the media that would try to, you know, say that they know it better than Strutty or another
That's
player.
No,
just
they
absurd.
don't.
And those ones I always just go, that's a little tough.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be the. I understand there's a line of you don't have to have played to be able to analyze the sport and
sure.
do that properly, but I will defer sometimes. You know, or like if it's player versus ex-player versus non-player, I'm kind of going to defer to the ex-player in a lot of discussions.
Cass is so good on the pre and post game show. Is like, I think this, but I need to run it by Cass first, and then he'll be like, yes because or no because, and he's one of the best. And Belsey's really good at that too. So is Gage. Actually, we're lucky. We have 3 great analysts, but they don't, and they have 3 different perspectives: forward, defenseman, and goalie. Like. But yeah, that I always have to bounce it off of them. It's like, hey, I think about this, and what would you say to that? And then usually get a pretty upfront answer, and they're spot on.
Well, the credibility is so much more because even if you play just the one game, you know how the game is. You've been around it. You've been inside of it, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, and you know how it is. So you could give that view on it. Like some of the best analysts, well, probably most of the best hockey analysts were former players. Right?
Yes.
Like,
they always. Yeah.
And there's a lot of good ones that never played that high level of hockey that are good, but 100 times over, I'd go to somebody who actually played rather than not.
That's why I also love when people rip Ray Ferraro on Twitter. And all he usually sometimes replies with is his goal total. In
What
the
do you have?
NHL.
498
I love
or something
that,
like that.
I say I just love like or the one I'll always remember is something like, "Who are you to tell like McDavid how to score goals or something?" And he just responded like 492 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's a pretty good trump card to have right there.
Well, I played for 20 years and I scored almost 500 goals. So
Great player, yeah.
I mean, take it for what it's worth. I love that. Ray's great. He's a very nice man, but he doesn't take any BS. I love that.
Well, nor should he. Like, I've seen a couple of those tweets where it's like, who is Ray Ferraro? I've never heard this name in my life. Oh, no,
For a
I'm
second,
not.
I thought you were saying
No,
that. I was going,
no.
No,
I didn't
that's
know
fine.
who Mark McGuire was, but now I know. Now I know who that person is. But I've seen some of the tweets, and it was just like his career totals like 1,263 NHL games and whatever he played, and it was just like, huh. Like no response there.
Yeah, gotcha.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots Hard Ice Tea, Matt Iwanyk, Zachticum, Tom Gazzola with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports and all sports radio station here in the city of Edmonton. I want to get to Hangout headlines, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. Book your tee time today at theranchgolf.com. Unbelievable conditions out there. I do want to. Okay, so you had this trivia at the game where they were asking you about players.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. I understand that he wouldn't understand these players, and I'm trying to figure out what the line is to what people need to know and don't know, because this is immediately making me remember when Yaremchuk didn't know who Jim Brown was on 1260. And I immediately went on the air and I was like, well, like maybe you have to know some key people. And I throw it like, you got to know who John Wooden is. You got to know who Claire Drake is.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of text messages at that moment going, I don't know who either of those two are. Claire Drake really surprised me.
Here you need to know.
In
Claire
Edmonton,
Drake.
I thought you need to know that one in Edmonton. There's a lot of people I
He's
have
a
no
Hockey
idea who
Hall
Claire
of
Drake
Famer,
is.
too.
People didn't know who John Wooden was. And then I got to a point where, like, you don't know do you know either of those two?
No, not yet.
And so that's where, like, I understand there's a generational thing. And it's like, how much of the past, like, do you need to know? Of the names, at least.
It's
And I will
subjective.
defend Zach to come on this one. He had no reason to know who Mark McGuire was.
Zero reason.
Why do you need to know who Mark McGuire is?
Because
Especially
it's
here.
historic.
But there's so
knew
many
Barry
players I
Bonds
could
was.
throw into that one.
That's good. But like I know Willie
Like-
Mays, I know Hank Aaron,
Yeah.
I know Babe Ruth, I know Lou Gehrig, I know Joe DiMaggio, like
You do.
Yogi Berra, like and those guys
But-
were done playing 30 years before I was born.
But does everyone know those?
No,
And that's
I'm a
my
sports
point.
nerd.
Same.
Yeah,
And are we coming at it too sports nerdy here?
always. Yes, I'll fully admit I'm a sports nerd.
Shocker.
Yeah,
Because
nerd,
like, to me,
nerd
like,
alert.
I think anyone that somewhat likes basketball needs to know who John Wooden is.
Yes,
But I guarantee there's a lot of people that have no idea who John Wooden is.
ignorance is bliss.
That it is.
But I don't know.
it's
Like it
tough.
was
Jean
fun. it was-
Beliveau.
Jean Beliveau.
come
Do
on.
people know who Jean Beliveau
Le
is?
Gros
Of the
Stanley
younger people.
Levin Stanley
The
Cups,
younger
right?
generation. Do they? It seems like he does, because immediately as soon as I said Jean Beliveau,
I'm a
he knew.
hockey nerd, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
I love my hockey. MLB is like something that is just out there to me.
If you want
I
to
do
deep
not
dive
know
into
MLB that
history of
much.
sport, MLB is just like a gold mine. Like it
deep,
is
like
crazy.
130 plus years.
Yeah.
Well, they also got the fun stories. I think it's Rube Waddell is like a baseball player from like the early 1900s. And he got distracted so much, like fire engines would drive by and he'd get distracted.
See, I love
If I could
stories like
find
that.
that
Like
one.
I could sit there on like a Sunday night or something and just like watch a full mini documentary on these kind of players. Like I guess Gary the Suitcase Smith from the NHL, who just, you know, he was almost a bust, but he was some goalie, and his wife was like, "You need to get back into the game, or else I'm gonna break up with you," or something like that. So he started playing again. He had a couple good seasons, but he played for like the Seals and some really poor teams.
They were pretty
like
bad
one of
back-
the
back in the day.
worst teams in NHL history. And then he bounced around like a nomad, given the name the Suitcase.
The Suitcase? I like
Smith.
that.
And
See, that's
he would
good.
just like hack darts and everything. It was fantastic, and just the style that he had, like it was hilarious.
Guy Lafleur used to hack darts.
Oh, I mean everyone probably.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
I
guys-
remember
there's
Rob
still
Brown
guys
telling a
just-
story once of the Penguins. They dress in one a building. They'd have to walk outside to the rink.
Yeah.
And in the walk outside, Lemieux would be just
Yeah.
hacking a dirt.
Having a ciggy.
Rube Waddell played from 1897 through 1910. This is part of his Wikipedia page. He also has a long-standing fascination with fire trucks and ran off the field to chase after them during games on multiple occasions. He would disappear for months at a time during the off-season, and it was not known where he went until it was discovered that he was wrestling alligators in a circus.
Nice.
He was easily distracted by opposing fans who held up puppies, which caused him to run over to play with them, and shiny objects would seem to put him in a trance.
This guy sounds like he had ADD.
Those are the stories of baseball that were just like, you don't get that in other sports, and there's just so many. There's David Wells was on acid. No, he was hungover.
Yeah.
For a perfect game.
Yeah, he threw a
and
perfect
then
game.
who was the guy that was on acid that threw a no hitter or something like that?
Oh my god.
I'm forgetting. It was like in the 80s.
Doc Gooden was always had. There were guys that had like vials of cocaine in their back pocket while they were playing, and they would slide. They wouldn't slide on their butts. They'd slide front slide so they wouldn't bust their cocaine. Yeah.
Yes, baseball has those great stories. By the way, Claire Drake, long time U of A Golden Bear football and hockey, mostly
Oilers
hockey.
coach briefly in the
Head
WHA.
coach. He won both Vanier Cup, which is the football title, and hockey. I forgot what the hockey title is called, but he won nationals for both.
Yeah.
The rink's named after
Claire
him.
Drake. Yeah.
Oilers coach, like
Yeah, WHA coached for like one season.
Should have went into the Hall of Fame years ago. Got in just a couple years ago.
Was he in
Posthumously,
the
I think it
Alberta
was.
Hockey Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he's
Alberta
in the
or, like,
hockey
but
hall.
But now
of
he's
Fame.
in the hockey
Now he's
Hall
in-
of Fame.
now he's in the
Because
big
who was
one,
the
yeah.
one fighting for him? I forgot who it was. There was
There's a few people that were fighting for him.
Big, because it's like a committee of 25.
Kevin
or
Lowe's
something.
on there now, I think.
But there was someone that like, I forgot who it officially
Would have been
was.
Pat
that was
Quinn?
That's the name that was coming to my mind, but I don't know if it was Pat Quinn.
Pat Quinn spent a lot of time in Edmonton. Like he played junior here, got married here.
But no, Claire Drake, just legendary in the city,
Yeah.
and is just absolutely amazing. Well, the story of him, and again, he coached a national title in hockey and football.
And football, that's amazing.
That is just unreal.
That's old school.
That's old school.
Multi-sport athlete. It's like football players used to play on both sides of the ball.
Which
Jackie
is
Parker
nuts.
with
Jackie
the,
Parker.
was it the pick six or whatever? Or was it the fumble in the Grey Cup that he took the other way? I think it was a fumble.
Yeah.
Because he was playing both sides. Dave in Section T saying Spaceman Lee. He might have been the one. That was
Space Manley?
Spaceman Lee is.
Oh, I was like,
Oh, this is like a 70s baseball player.
I think
That's
he
a
might have
great
been
name.
on.
He might have been tripping.
He might have been the one tripping. I'll have to see if I can
his
find
name
it.
is Space.
That was,
so
his
maybe.
nickname was Spaceman.
Oh, Space. Okay, I was like,
he's
I
just
thought that was
he
his
out,
name.
He was far out there, man.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
What else? Like, oh yeah, baseball like is littered with just these crazy stories of weird dudes, great stories, terrible stories, stories of redemption. Yeah,
Well, there's just so many years of it too, and then so many players that play.
and so much baseball, like the stuff in the minors and stuff like that.
yeah, you're always playing. Like,
yeah.
And now I have Dusty gave me some homework after my quiz or whatever at the Riverhawks game yesterday.
You did
and
all
now
right. You did all right.
I did okay.
You
yeah.
knew Bo Jackson, which was good.
Yeah, I knew Bo Jackson, Al McInnes, which
You
like
were
I'm
very-
a hockey nerd.
you were
I was
very
like
upset
I was
when he asked you
upset.
about
Like I
Al
was almost
McInnes.
appalled when he asked me that for no reason. That like I thought everyone would know Al McInnes, but that's just me. Like I got a picture of him on my wall, and like I
Well-
love Al McInnes.
Okay. I won't call you out for something.
Oh,
Well, Lori in the nasty chat did call you out in one way and go, a hockey nerd who doesn't know who Claire Drake is.
Also,
NHL nerd.
The no was Doc
I
Ellis.
was about-
Pat and Dave in Section T replied with that.
Yeah. Doc Ellis had that, and was it? He was under the influence of LSD.
perfect.
Baseball, baby.
PD.
It's special.
Yeah, and this is where, like, if you, I don't know if you've ever actually met Low Tide by any chance. If you've
Yeah, I met him one time.
It's when you sit down with Low Tide and you get him talking baseball. It was great.
He does love his baseball.
I would sometimes just go in a commercial break of his show just to go say hi, and then somehow I'd get him talking about something, and then I'd sit there for the commercial break. He'd tell me about it, tell me the story, and then he's got to get back on there, and I'd leave him like, that was a good little jolt to the morning to get me going.
Tiny nugget of information.
The best is when he would throw like an obscure name and tell a story about it. And I'm like, what the hell is he? How do you know this? And it's like he knows it like the back of his hand. He's an encyclopedia and a wealth of knowledge. That man.
I think somebody had Ken Hitchcock. For Claire Drake. Yeah, I think Hitch was the one that defended Claire Drake for a long time. Or pushed for Claire Drake to get in there for a long time.
He got in, and it worked. So, and he should be in there because the track record speaks for itself.
Yeah, but
the NHL, or not the NHL, the Hall of Fame now. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever.
The Hockey Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
What, it's too easy to get in?
Yeah.
I think it's way too easy to get in.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess
think
and it's still an honor. You got to honor somebody.
A few people in. I also, there's a few things I hate about Hall of Fames. I hate the idea of whether you're first ballot. You can be a first ballot or not.
Oh, right.
I'm a type of person that goes, are you Hall of Famer or not?
Right.
I don't care whether you're first ballot or third ballot. Like, to me, it doesn't change. Your career didn't change.
Right.
I get frustrated that it took Larry Walker so long to get in the Hall of Fame. I would have understood because it took him like, I don't know how long you get eligibility. Is it 15 years or is it 10? Whatever. You get the years of eligibility.
Window.
You have that window.
Yeah.
And he got in, I think, on his last year. And I would have understood if every year prior baseball had maxed out the amount of people because they have a limit of how many they could put in. But they didn't. One year they didn't elect anyone. And I sit there and I go, how did Larry Walker all of a sudden his career get better? His career's over. Like his stats didn't improve. Right. He didn't go out and hit 5 more RBIs and 3 more home runs to help elevate him. So how does he all of a sudden become a Hall of Famer? And so I get really annoyed with Hall of Fames. I almost like to a point feel like you should only get like 1 or 2 years. And it's yes or no, you're in or you're out. And I don't care if there's a class of 15 going in. We put in whoever needs to go in. But I also think like it shouldn't even really be almost up for debate. If we have to sit there and debate for a couple of hours whether a player's a Hall of Famer or not, to me that says they're not a Hall of Famer. I believe excellence of excellence. Like it should be almost a no doubter whether someone in all sports, all Hall of Fames. That's my belief of it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Like if you have a panel of 25 and you're going back and forth for like 30, 40 minutes on a player.
Yeah.
Well, but he did this. But this. Then to me it's no, they're not a Hall of Famer then.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean you can't just sit there and debate it and try and find reasons for it. If the reasons are there and apparent, then you say like it should be that easy. Oh, Pavel Datsyuk, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. Like you don't even have to. There's no second guess of that.
To me, there shouldn't be.
There should be no dissecting at all.
And naturally, whenever you put out the list, there's going to be a couple. Like there's going to be people out there that might criticize some of them, but it should be almost like everyone, yes, no, in or out. Should be almost a no-brainer for most players. But I'm with you, Tom. I think the Hall is a little too easy to get into.
Yeah.
Which one's the best, I think? Baseball's a joke because the writers of baseball are awful. They're the worst. They're so stuck up. Believe that they're these gatekeepers of the league. And they matter. And that's what they truly believe, some of them, that they matter.
No.
And it's just like, go away. And with them...
Go away.
Well, I think we're close. When is the baseball? Oh, no, that's in the winter. No, like the thing is with baseball writers is they were complicit in the entire steroid era of Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds era. They were the one AP reporter in St. Louis that tried calling it out, got ostracized by other baseball writers. And now baseball writers feel they have the right to keep steroid people out of the Hall of Fame.
Holier than thou?
How dare you have besmirched this sport? What did you do? And there's a lot of baseball writers that are still voting who were around at that time. Because also with baseball voting, like you can now be like the Des Moines, Iowa food critic. But because you're a baseball reporter in the past, you get to hold on to your vote.
Yeah. That's messed up. Also, I've been fortunate to like see how baseball reporters get to cover that sport, and it's so lax and casual. Like I'd almost want to do it just to try it, but I think by like the second week I'd be bored of it. Like it's so you just go to the ballpark and you hang around. Like it's almost like they have to make controversy just to keep their jobs interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was
No,
just like,
that's-
what is going on here? And I would talk to a coach. So like, what's your day to day? Like I have to go to the rink in the morning, and then I have to like file a pregame story, and then if I get a little break in the middle of the day, I go home, I have a nap, or I go to the gym, try to do something active, and then I got to go back to the rink, and then I have to do this and that and that, and they'd be like, oh, that is so much work. Like I'm like, well, what do you do? Well, 7 o'clock first pitch. I get to the ballpark around 5. Have a media meal, catch up with everybody else from the media, watch the game, file, back at the ballpark the next day at 5. I'm like, this is BS.
Sometimes they go for BP early.
Well, I talked to Justin
Sometimes.
Morneau. We were talking to former Edmonton Trapper Justin Morneau. He's a Hall of Famer, is he not?
No.
No?
No.
No, it was Joe Mauer that got in.
I don't think Justin Morneau had the career.
Yeah, but
to the long career. To go
Mauer
in.
got in. That's who got in recently. Anyway, we were lucky enough. Again, we were in Minnesota. It was, I think, after the lockout. So the season ended a little bit later. We got to go to Minnesota. It was like late April. Baseball had started, and Ryan Smith knew Justin Morneau and former PR guy JJ Bear as well. So we got to go to batting practice, and Morneau came and just like stood with Jack Michaels and I while we were watching BP on the field. And I was asking him, like, what's your game day routine? He goes, that depends on first pitch. Like today, the earlier start, 4 o'clock. I got here at 1 or 2 meetings, get a stretch in. Maybe I'll hit a few balls. Well, I'm good to go. And then I was like, that's it? He goes, yeah, there's no morning skate. There's not a lot to go over. It's very casual. And I was like, it sounds amazing. Amazing. And he's like, I'm more interested in him. And he points at Ryan Smith and how these guys do it. I'm like, yeah, it can be a grind, I guess. And it's physically demanding. Not that baseball isn't, but.
There was, when Keith Olbermann had a show on ESPN, it was just called Olbermann, I think. He documented this because Dan Le Batard at one point, when he was with Miami Herald,
Yeah.
he outsourced his ballot to fans.
Oh.
And baseball Hall of Fame writers or whatever, they got pissed. Of
course
they got
they did.
annoyed and they took his ballot from him after that. But then Keith Olbermann did this, and I think all of his stuff is still on YouTube. You can go find the one time he commented on this. He pulled up like when the president of the Baseball Hall Writers Association at the time, he one day did come join me at this bar and we could fill up my ballot together. But he didn't. He did it, and I'm filling it out. But hey, you can help talk to me. Whereas Le Batard actually just gave his vote away, type thing. And Dan Le Batard lost his vote, and they all got mad at him. But like baseball writers could do that type of stuff, or they could write in their columns and do things. I also agree with Pat here, not as a Yankees fan, but it's really crappy the way that some of these writers vote. Though there's the one guy who only voted for Jeter because he thought he should go in alone. Just brain dead stuff from Pat. Well, Jeter, one thing about Jeter, I think Jeter was one vote away from being unanimous going into the Hall of Fame.
Who was the one guy that didn't?
I can't remember, but it was they came out and said he doesn't deserve to be unanimous. And it's that stuff I don't like. I understand that other people in the past should have gone in unanimously. They should have.
Sure.
Like you can't tell me like guys like Willie Mays or something couldn't have
Like
been
icons
unanimous
of the sport. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to sit there and be like the only reason he's not going in is because he shouldn't be unanimous.
It's so petty.
Is he Hall of Famer or not?
Yes. He's
Like
super
you
Hall
can't
of
tell me
Famer.
that Derek Jeter wasn't Hall of Famer. You can't tell me that David Ortiz is in Hall of Famer. Well, some people might go with the steroid now and stuff, but like there's these players that are Hall of Famers, and that's where I get annoyed is that there's the holier than thou attitude or this gatekeeping stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just so annoying.
It's very unnecessary, some of our peers and colleagues in that mentality. But
I hate the baseball ones.
there's ego in there.
There was one time I called one baseball writer in Texas just to get on the show. That was at the time he'd cold call someone.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Matt from Edmonton, or TSN 12, it would have been Team 1260 in Edmonton. How are you? And just got a bye. And he hung up on me.
He hung up on
He
you?
didn't even let me continue. And I was like, well, okay, just next time be a little more polite about it, I guess. Or
So
just
did you
don't
actually
answer your
get
phone.
out what you wanted to say to him?
I just said who I was at first. Like I said with, how are you? And then he just said bye. So why'd you pick up the phone, dude?
No, not to
what a
call out
dick.
He was,
people
he was
or
the only
name
one.
names.
I forgot his name. If I go in the media guide, I could find it. And I'd call him out, no problem. I just forgot his
He
name.
covers
Okay.
who, the Rangers?
He's retired now.
Texas Rangers guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those guys, man. Full of
Well, is
themselves.
that like the worst phone call that you had to make to try and get somebody as a guest on the show? Like, what kind of stories do you guys have in that aspect? Calling somebody or trying to talk to somebody to bring as a guest, and they just denied it in that way.
Okay, I have one. I was Gene's studio runner for 2007, 2008. And, but by the end of the year, I was working for the Score. It was crazy. Anyway, it was like early in the season, and Gene's like, hey, the Red Wings are here. And the Oilers were playing somebody else that night, but the Red Wings got in early. And he's like, can you go up to the press box and see if like Mike Babcock's available to do an interview with 630 Ched guys? And it was Rod and Morley at the time. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I was scared crapless. Like, I was like, oh my God. It was my first month doing this. I'm still in college. I don't know. Yeah, I'll go try. Sure enough, I find Mike Babcock. I'm like, hi, Mike. I'm Tom with Sportsnet. Would you be willing to do an interview with the radio broadcasters? He's like, yeah, sure. Just let me know when. And Gene gave me like the wrong time. They wanted him in the intermission and not at, I think he said something like the 10-minute mark. And I misconstrued it or Gene gave me bad info. So I went and grabbed Babcock like 10 minutes later, midway through the game, and I brought him over to the Ched booth. And Morley looks at me, and I'm like, hey, here's Babcock. And he goes, Rod didn't even turn around. And Babcock's like, you're not ready for me? Fine, whatever. And he walks away, and I'm like, oh, my God. So, yeah, and I went back down, and I'm like, Gene, what the hell? He's like, oh, maybe I told you the wrong time. And I'm like, oh, whatever. So I had one of those.
And that was like in your first month.
Yep.
I would, yeah, no.
Yeah. I was just like, oh.
I don't have a lot of
sucks.
other bad ones. I used to have to call people and stuff. Sometimes you'd have a home number and you try calling home. That was always weird.
That is weird, isn't it? Yeah.
But most people, I think, were mostly gracious. When you talk to someone on the phone, that was the one reason you called them at the time when I did. It was because it was a lot harder to say no to someone voice-wise than by email or like a text or something. It's a lot easier to either ghost them or...
Yeah.
But that was that one Texas Ranger reporter is the only one that I like.
And what were you mad at him about?
I wasn't mad at him all.
You just wanted to talk to him?
We wanted to get him on the show to talk Rangers baseball.
Oh.
I was just calling to be like, hey, like, Matt, Team 1260, how are you? Like, and I was just gonna be like, hey, would you have time to jump on with Jason Gregor to talk some Rangers at this time, or this time? Like, and it was just a bye, and then I hang up. I'm like, well,
dick. That's
thanks.
Don't be like
Not
that.
even a no, sorry.
Don't be like that.
Even that. And I just had all what I said. How are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Sorry, I'm busy though. Like, I don't know what or what. I don't
Not
like,
worth it.
Or didn't even let me get to the question. And again, why'd you pick up the phone?
30 seconds.
I could probably still find his name.
Yeah, whatever.
What a guy.
Useless.
Baseball writers.
For the most part, people have always been.
There, you should be all right.
There's the people that are a little short or whatever, but I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Mike Babcock in that. I mean, he kind of has that character to him, but it was in the middle of the game. Like he
and my cousin played for him in Spokane and didn't speak very highly of him, so I was like,
you don't say. I've only heard good things now about Mike Babcock.
Very rare to hear that.
I'm shocked.
Yeah,
although
shocking.
he gave me I have a claim that something I did got onto part in the interruption. It was because of Mike Babcock.
Which one was? I think you told me this before.
This was the lockout of, I guess, 12-13. Was it 12-13, 11-12, whatever that was.
12-13.
12-13.
Yeah.
Spec had a show at 12-60 at the time.
Yes.
I was with him. It was December or something. I booked Mike Babcock on the show. Because Mike does like doing interviews, or at the time, he was cool doing interviews.
Yeah.
And he made a quote to Spec about if hockey's not careful, it's going to turn into bowling. Like in terms of interest or something like that. And immediately, I think Principe messaged Spec and like Sportsnet get this. So Spec's like, can you email this to the assignment desk at Sports? I was like, of course, I'll send it there. And then somebody came to me in that afternoon, and I wasn't able to watch PTI yet. And they're like, Mike Babcock's quote is on PTI. And Wilbon and Kornheiser were talking about that quote.
That's awesome.
The only thing is they credited it to Sportsnet. But I knew where it came from.
Yeah.
It was Spec, and I booked that interview for Spec, and it was from Spec and I. And so something I did, Wilbon and Kornheiser talked about, and like
that's cool.
That
Those
is
guys are
my favorite show of all time, basically.
It's a great show.
That is one show I might actually have a soul and shed a tear when it ends with Kornheiser and Wilbon.
They're so
when
good.
those two are done, or when one of them's done. That something I did made PTI.
That is
was
awesome.
Because of Mike Babcock. So I'll always have a soft spot for Mike Babcock for that. He got me onto PTI.
Okay, I guess, but like
Well, he gave you
that's
the quote.
being on PTI. Something that you did ends up on PTI, which is like the creme de la creme of sports shows, in my opinion. That's cool, but I would not say I have a soft spot in my heart for Mike Babcock.
Well, just that little piece. Hey, he was a damn good coach.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wasn't. It's just
He won us 2 Olympic golds, or helped coach the team to 2 Olympic golds.
Yes.
I don't think you can't always just say also that it's just easy to coach Canada, because look at what happened in 06.
Yeah.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Although they did bring it was poor roster construction. They tried carrying over 02 a little too much,
and they didn't change the style.
but
to
that was a
international.
disaster. I don't even know who the coach was for that one. Was it Quinn again?
N-
Because Quinn won 02.
yeah, I don't think it was Pat Quinn.
2006.
Was it Ken
Olympics.
Hitchcock?
I'll take a
Scotty?
quick look here.
No, Bowman was done by then. Big Maple texting in. Big Maple says, Tommy, when you worked at the Score, did you ever cross paths with my boy Ken Norton? Grew up in Nova Scotia together. Or is that Northside? One of my best buds back in the day, and he was managing the social media stuff back around the time you were there. No, I was very much just a part-timer. And I only knew a few people that worked there.
Pat Quinn was the head coach.
Was he really?
Wayne
Jeez.
Fleming, Mark Habshaw, Ken Hitchcock, Jacques
Wayne
Martin
Fleming.
were the assistants. I bet that was pretty much close to what 02 was, if I had to guess.
Wayne Fleming was a very nice man. Very nice man.
He was with
He was an
Rennie?
Oilers assistant coach with Pat.
Quinn.
And unfortunately, I think he had brain cancer
Yes.
and passed away pretty quickly. But he was super nice. I remember him vividly because it was like my second or third year around the team. He was always very friendly. He had no idea who I was, but that didn't matter. He was super nice.
Who was like the nicest coach that you
Coach?
had the chance for the Oilers side, I guess, to run
From
into?
the Oilers side, nicest. Man, I got along really well with Todd Nelson. Mac T, I love Mac T.
One of the best hangout guests we've had
Yeah.
so far.
Todd McClellan and I had a couple of battles, but it was good. It was good. It was in a good way. I didn't really get to know Tip that much. Chris Knobloch, whatever. Like, nice guy, but I don't need to be friends with. I got to know Jay Woodcroft good, but it was different when he was the head coach. Todd Nelson, probably.
Oh, Nelson?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that.
Nelly's awesome. I have a great story. It's not for the air, but
No, okay.
actually, yes, because we had Derek Laxdal on Hello Hockey on Saturday, our last episode of the season.
Who's the new coach?
The Coachella Valley Firebirds. A great interview. Laxey was the Oil Kings head coach, obviously, when they had their great run, winning Memorial Cup. Then he went to the Texas Stars and the Dallas Stars. He was here with the Stars in the bubble when they went to the final. Then he was with the Oshawa Generals. Now he's with Coachella Valley Firebirds. And it was interesting because, like, at the time, the Oilers would bring, like, Laxey and Todd Nelson to the draft. And it was like, okay, like, cool. Like, Laxey's with the Oil Kings and Nelly's with the Barons. And they'd be there. I'm like, what do you guys, like, what's going on? Like, you interviewing for jobs? They're like, no, they just brought us. Just show us around and we get to hang out. They ask us our opinion. We hang out with the scouts, whatever. It's cool. And I was like, yeah, it's a great trip. But they wouldn't have anything to do. Like, they had no responsibilities, right? They're just there. And so they'd be like, you want to go out? I was like, yeah. And the draft was in Jersey, but everybody stayed in New York, and the league was set up in Manhattan, and all the media hotels and everything. And so they have a thing called the Scouts Dinner. And they take out the entire hockey ops department. And the Cates family does it. Really nice restaurant. They took the entire staff out. And this Scouts dinner was in New York. Super fancy place. It was amazing. And Mark Messier was working for the team at the time. And Messier has a couple of bars or restaurants in New York that he's a part owner of. And so JJ Bear, the PR guy, goes, hey, Mess has a place we can go to tonight. It's apparently really cool. And we're like, okay, we'll go. And JJ's like, you want to go? You want to go? You go? And Nelly wanted to go. I don't think maybe Laxey came with us. I can't remember. But there was like 10 of us that piled into like 2 or 3 cabs. And we give the cab driver the address that Messier gave to us. And the cab driver's like, that address does not exist. And JJ, I remember being like, the owner of this place told us where it is, and this is the address. And the guy's like, I can get you close, but I'm telling you guys, that address does not exist. And so we're driving through this area, and it looks sketchy. But then all of a sudden, like, there's like people dressed nice, and then you could hear like music, and we're like, okay, we must be pretty close to some place that's not sketchy. And we get out, and the guy's like, this is as close as I can get you. I don't know where this place is you're talking about, but have fun. Good luck. We all get out, and there's this big dude he's got a toothpick in his mouth, and he's leaning on the fence, and he goes, "You Marks boys?" We're like, yep. He's like, "I'm Tim. Come with me." And we're like, oh my God. And so it's New York, right? And it's old back alley, like 100-year-old apartment buildings, and like there's garbage everywhere, and like the floodlights dangling. We're going through this narrow back alley, and he's like, "You guys ever been here before?" We're like, nope. Hope we don't die. And we get midway through this dank alley and go to a steel door, and it goes bam, bam, bam. And just like you see in the movies, like the eye slit opens up. He's like, "They're here." And we're like, oh my God. The guy opens the door, and all of a sudden you can hear like, dum, 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 dum. We're like, okay. So we get it. The guy's like, welcome to whatever the hell it's called. And I'm like, where is this place? I'm starting to hear music. It seems okay. And all of a sudden Tim's like, all right, wait here. And then he goes through another steel door, same thing, bam, bam, bam. And he goes and he says something, and he's like, give it 2 minutes. And we're like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? And then sure enough, we're just like kind of waiting. And then they open up the second steel door, and then it's just like, boom. This like 1930s era speakeasy where everyone's dressed like it's Prohibition. And like there's like vintage furniture everywhere. And he goes, "This place opened up in 1929. Lucky Luciano was the first owner. All the steel at the top, or the tin roof, all the furniture has been reupholstered, but it's original. And if you want a drink, beer comes in coffee cups. Mixed drink comes in teacups. Do you guys want a section? Mark's had to set you guys up real nice." And this Tim guy became the nicest guy in the world. And then he goes and he boots out these people from like a nice section of couches. And we go sit down. We're like, oh my God. And it was like the cool people of New York went to this place, and we're like, what are we doing here? We're wearing like polos, and we look like dorks from Edmonton, right? And he's like, what can I get you guys? And his demeanor changed like that of like, this is amazing. And then I went to the bathroom really quickly, and I see this other like big bouncer sitting beside a bookshelf and a light on the wall. And people keep going up to him, and he'd be like, no. And they'd walk away frustrated. And I kind of looked, and another person goes up to him, says something, and he's like, and he nods his head. And then he pulls the light, and it opens up a bookshelf to another back room of this speakeasy where it was even better than where we were. I'm like, where the hell am I? What is this? And it was Nelly and a bunch of us, Todd Nelson and the crew, we were there all night, and it was amazing. Like, I was just like, this is wild. Wild.
Going from feeling like you're about to get mugged in a New York
by
back
a big
alley.
guy named Tim is like, I might die. This was an amazing night. Yeah, in a bar a speakeasy that Mark Messier was a part owner of, and and it had like a secret doorway to go to an extra room, and you had to know like the password or something. It was unbelievable.
Password. Did you try it? Just
No,
go password.
no. I wouldn't dare. The guy looked like he'd kill you if you said the wrong thing. And like,
A mess's boy. That's all you have to say.
yeah, no, I wouldn't even bother. Anyway, that was so we got to hang out with like Todd Nelson, Derek Laxall, and those guys. Great guys.
So you guys, you didn't get any info on what any dress code was because you just showed up in the
Well,
polos.
the people that worked there were all dressed in like Prohibition era stuff because that's when it opened up. It was and but like it was like cool New York people. Like there's Canada cool, there's Edmonton cool, there's Calgary cool.
New York's different.
New York, you're just like, oh, I stick out like a sore thumb. Even though like up here they'd be like, oh, all right, normal. There it's like it's almost like they're wearing costumes, right? Like it's it's a
It's
different
Henrik
world.
Lundqvist, but everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And
I like that.
Good-looking people,
Yeah,
dressed up to the
just
nines,
sexy
and just
people everywhere.
unbelievable.
Yeah, just sexy people everywhere dressed up to the nines, and I'm like, oh my god, this is unbelievable.
Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout brought to you by the Hive Product Marketing, official merch partner of EST. They'll help you get your promotional products looking like the nines.
Yeah, there you go. Attaboy.
HiveProductMarketing.com. Speak to Chelsea. They've done. They'll continue doing some amazing stuff for us here at EST. So they're going to be someone you're going to want to check out if you're looking for any promotional products. Have you guys seen any of the renderings and stuff from Scotia Place in Calgary?
Yes.
The $800 million arena, $1.2 billion or something area that's going to take place, opening 2027. It looks very Edmonton-esque.
No, it doesn't look as nice.
In terms of
the arena,
like I should say
does.
not look, but what they're hoping to accomplish: restaurants outside, an area to stand. Like it's very, very similar traits,
yes.
if you will. Then maybe it's the best word to
Well,
what we've done here in Edmonton.
I was reading Julian McKenzie's article in the Athletic, and they like the Oilers staff did, or Kate's group and OEG, when they were building Rogers Place, toured all the other arenas and facilities in the NHL and picked elements from the best ones. And reading the article, they derived a lot of this future arena for the Flames off of Rogers Place and Little Caesars Arena, and I think a little bit of Pittsburgh as well, PPG Paints Arena, which are three of the best, and that's what you want to do. So the interior looks very much like the bowl looks a lot like Rogers Place / Little Caesars, which is great because it works. The outside is weird, but having like the elements, having the elements outside, like the rooftop patio, like that's cool. Good, do it.
Except the rooftop patio is an interesting one because it doesn't look enclosed.
Well, they're probably gonna have to close it.
Well, but then the thing is, like, I know this is an event center; it's supposed to be 12 months of the year. The big team, though, the big tenant is the Calgary Flames.
Right.
And they play between October and April.
And it gets cold in Calgary.
And as much as those Chinooks come, don't think you want an outdoor patio necessarily.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it, like, playoff time, when they eventually make the playoffs,
Yes.
if they ever make the playoffs.
When that arena's built.
That will be a cool spot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's got to be a way to, like, they needed to have designed it where it could be enclosed and then opened or something. To just have an outdoor patio, I feel like it's not going to be used that much.
Yeah. Well, there's one in Rogers Place where the DJ was set up for Ford, outside of Ford Hall.
Yeah.
It's a little one, yeah, and that's and
they only come out now like the cheer team or whatever they're called. Like I know in the playoffs they like shoot stuff into the crowd to the moss pit
it's
from there.
Small. It's very small.
So like, but yeah, having it outdoor that looks weird. I will say I think this design is going to hold up over time. The look of it.
I don't understand the exterior though. Like, what is that? Like Eric was talking, are those LED screens around it?
Well, I think the lower one looks like LED, and the main thing is just lighting.
Yeah, it
the
looks
way
like the
the
big
design of the steel makes it look like flames or something like that.
Okay,
which is pretty cool.
I will say this is a much better design than what they once did when they came out with the Calgary Next project, which was the combination of the stadium.
That looked very boxy.
To me,
generic.
that looked like in 5 years, once that opens, you're gonna be like, this is an eyesore.
Yes.
Where it's like Rogers Place, I know, like 30 years from now, is still gonna look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I always look at Rogers Place, or what is it? Rogers Stadium, Rogers Center, Rogers Center in Toronto.
Like the Skydome, yeah.
It's an eye. Like it's. I understood that probably when it first opened, it looked like this marvel.
Yeah.
I don't think it aged well over in terms of just the look of it.
Right.
And that's what Calgary Next to me. This I think could hold up. I think 20 years from now we're gonna be like, it's not a bad looking place. Like just visually.
That's the one thing with those designs. It's like, because it does look so modernized, like it's all sleek and there's weird shapes to it and everything. But it's like, I mean, you're not gonna know what the fad is in 30 years for design. Like, I mean, there's the generations of architecture, but there's some of those places where they're built and you just know, like, in time it's just gonna look terrible. And even maybe when it is built, it just looks bad. But this rendering, and it's not gonna be 100% to the T. As it never is.
That's true. I saw like a million different renderings of the arena before they finally decided on the one that they went with.
Well, but what they posted for the arena part of it, ended up living pretty closely.
Yeah.
The arena part of it. They
Generally,
have changed
yes.
the other stuff.
Yeah.
One of the podiums for the towers, like where the ice house is and Loblaws,
That
they're
changed.
supposed to be a rooftop.
Pool.
Not pool. The renderings that ultimately came out were just like a garden area.
Yeah.
That never happened.
No.
They pulled that.
There was an
Does-
idea for a pool up
Okay.
there. My buddy worked on the construction of the podium.
When you look at the initial pictures of what the Stantec Tower and the J-Dub Tower, the Legends Tower,
Yeah.
that changed.
Yes.
It was a lot more cooler looking at the top, and then it just became a straight building.
Yeah.
So that stuff changes over time. But I feel like the Rogers Place, the actual rink of itself, from the last rendering that was released to the public,
Yep.
to what it ended up becoming, was actually relatively close. I just noticed I don't see an above shot of what this looks like in Calgary.
That's
I'd be
probably
intrigued.
a work in progress.
Well, I'd be intrigued what they're going to put on the roof. I don't know, because that you get those above roof shots.
Yeah.
They're going to put a big flame logo there. Is it going to be just nothing? I'm just intrigued.
knows?
Get a
that's
t-shirt
something.
can and
Yeah.
have some t-shirts up there.
The two towers in Ice District. There's supposed to be a third one, by the way.
Seriously?
On that podium
on the
where Ice
west
House
side.
is.
Yeah.
There's supposed to have been a tower.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough demand for condos.
CWB was going to go in there.
And now it's TD.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No,
TD's
that's on
another
the other
spot.
side. Yeah.
The Canadian Western
Now
Bank
they
was
might do
supposed to-
condos again. Like it's they keep
But
changing.
lower. I don't think it's going to
Yeah.
build as high as it was
It
initially
was
going
supposed
to
to
be.
be a 40-story tower, and
I
then they
think
had
they're
it down to
lowering
like
it.
16 or something. Yeah, and then they want to get going on the north side of Rogers Place, and that's phase 2 of Ice District.
I think there's 3 phases overall.
Yeah, something like that. They own a ton of land around there. But so we call that value engineering. Basically, they slash costs. Like there's supposed to be terrazzo flooring in Rogers Place, and if you don't know what terrazzo flooring is, it's like nice speckled flooring, polished. They end up going with polished concrete because of value engineering. Yes.
So it will always happen.
Being cheap.
Value engineering.
It's one of these projects. They always go up in costs.
Yes.
We're talking about the Calgary State rink going to be open in 2027. That means construction between now and then. One, you've got inflation that just isn't. Inflation happens all the time, so there's going to be costs go up that way, and then things change.
Yeah.
And then mishaps
And things
as well.
shoot up, and
They're
you're
getting
not
like
planning for
700
things.
mil from the city and the province combined.
Yeah, and the city owns gets nothing of it.
Yeah.
It is actually still it's a horrendous deal for I'll say
Alberta.
for Alberta, but for the city of Calgary, it's a terrible deal when you compare what the deal that they initially had
Yep.
that they ultimately voted down to this deal. It is awful for the city.
Yeah.
They are like what they could have had and they voted against, and I don't know why they've accepted this one in the end. But there's also talk in Calgary that they might. It's called the Green Line, I think it is, which is I think an extension of their C train somewhere. I believe there's talk that they might have to cancel the plans for that.
Really?
And now people in Calgary are upset and like, well, if there's one thing you should probably cancel, it's maybe the rink right now instead of this Green Line. But they might cancel the Green Line, and this happens. And in the end, what we'll see is Edmonton's owed out of this.
Yes.
It's not. We're owed 2 things. I don't want to compare the 2 fully. We're owed a new hospital, straight up.
That's right.
Been way too long
Very
since we've had a
important.
new hospital.
And did the Misericordia get some love? It needs some upgrades.
I don't think it did.
That's not good.
But at the same time, like budgets come from different things.
yeah.
We got nothing for Rogers.
Yeah. Nothing from the province.
Yes. And the talk is apparently though maybe with the reports that Kate's is involved, they'll get some money. Partly I think for phase 2. The city's involved, some money for Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And I think money to tear down Northlands. Because part of
They
the
need
provincial funding is to tear down Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
Only fair if we get the money to tear down Coliseum.
Yeah, that line could be used for something for sure.
And I'm intrigued what they would do with the expo land and all of that.
They don't use it that well.
The whole land,
The whole land.
like even Expo Center.
Expo Center is great.
Yeah, but there's talk of changing that, like building a whole new residential area across it all.
Really?
So I don't know what you
But
do
you
though
need a
with.
huge convention center. The
That's
Expo
the
Center is
thing.
busy. It's great. Like
That's the thing.
but like the old racetrack, it's not doing anything, right? It's
No,
just
they need to
the
clean that up.
Where the Coliseum is dead land.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing happening there. I think the city was using it as storage for vehicles and
Which one?
the Coliseum
Not inside.
inside.
Really?
Yeah. At one point, they were using it for storage. There's like a huge garage. Well, I mean,
You gotta use it for something. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
better
Like,
than
you need to
it
put your
rotting
vehicle
there.
somewhere, and it's right off of a couple major arteries. Like you need to get, let's say, snow plows out.
It's time to tear it down.
It is
As
time for it to
sentimental
go.
as it is,
overdue,
it's
yeah.
we're going into year 8
Yeah.
of the new rink, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
2016.
ridiculous to think that it's been that
Well,
long.
we had 2.5 years of freaking COVID.
No, but still, it's just like the fact that it was 8 years ago. It's not. We can't say new rink anymore.
It's gonna need a new scoreboard soon.
Really?
Sure. Those things are supposed to be about 10 years.
Didn't even think of that because it's still looking pretty good.
It is. It's great.
I don't see many issues.
Well
but it's
maintained.
It's just ridiculous to think that it's been 8 years
Yeah.
that place opened.
True.
The Saddle Dome's getting a new scoreboard.
Yeah, I saw that.
One last hurrah.
But you still have 4 more seasons there or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to make sure it's still somewhat usable for
Yes.
the fans that are going there, right?
Now, there is a team in this province, not named the Flames, that didn't do much to maintain the Coliseum just so they could put the squeeze to get the new arena, and it worked out very nice. Although I will give the Northlands crew a million times credit for doing everything in their power to make sure the old barn was up to snuff as best as possible with the resources they were given, because they did a great job.
Ian does say Miz got money for a new emergency room or area.
Okay, good.
is
Let's
solid.
give more money. We need more money for the hospitals, for crying out loud.
I'm surprised they didn't render, or you know, the new arena now, the Scotia Place, as like a cowboy hat or something.
Well, that's what the saddle dome's kind of supposed to be, isn't it?
Well, it's a
or like
saddle.
the saddle part of it. Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be
But
the cool
they didn't even do that on
architecture of all
purpose,
of that.
did they? Yeah,
So
but it was a
I don't think you could
downfall.
get away from the. If you tried to, if they tried coming with an architectural design of a cowboy hat or something, it would have been.
It wouldn't work.
They would have gotten destroyed by everyone.
Rightly
I think.
so. Rightly so. Good for Calgary. They, you know what? It's a good city. It's very similar to here. It smells a bit like
Smells like
cabbage.
cabbage,
Yeah, just a small hint of
The
cabbage.
best parts of Calgary leaving Calgary.
Well, that's what a lot of people value. I value that, but
They have a fun.
they
zoo.
need better sporting facilities.
I will say for years I fought against the idea of Calgary getting a new rink because I went, screw it, I want Edmonton to get all the shows. But having Kevin Radomski of the Oil Kings, we should get him back on again. Having Kevin Radomski of the Oil Kings here, he used to very much be involved with concert promotions.
He
He booked
at
Rogers Place. He
Yeah.
said, like, because Edmonton has gotten concerts that no one else gets. Like,
Yep.
there's kind of like the 3 tiers of concerts in Canada. There's the ones that come and do all the Canadian cities. There's the ones that just do the 2 or 3 cities, which is Toronto, Vancouver, with maybe Montreal being in there. And then there were some concerts that it was those 3 cities plus Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
We got that a little elevation in terms of our status. But Radomski said, if Calgary gets one, we'll get even more.
Yes.
Because they'll do the Edmonton Calgary.
Yeah.
They'll do the 2. And that to me then I was like, okay, well, I could live with it now.
Yeah.
I could we'll still get the stadium concerts.
Yeah.
Calgary come up, but I was always just like, yeah, Calgary has to come up to Edmonton for the concert. And I would
was
always
kinda
see the
nice.
Calgary radio stations having to promote, like, we're giving away tickets to the show in Edmonton. I'm like, yeah, suckers. So we lose that in 2027, but it
you
might
get
mean
more
better
shows.
shows here. Or more shows here, which I will gladly take. Because, again, I haven't been to a concert at Rogers since pre-2020, I think. I don't think I've gone in the last 4 years.
They're good
Which is
there.
good and
They're
bad.
really good.
Well, it's good. I like going to shows there. They're great.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, it's just nice going to smaller venues for the shows.
True.
They can be even better.
Yeah.
I need to go to more of those, like the Edmonton Music Convention Center, or whatever it's called.
Edmonton
Shaw.
Convention Center. It used to be Shaw
Edmonton.
Convention Center.
Right. Yeah, and like that place is good. Like I love
like
those
it.
smaller ones, and
Yeah.
there's
It's
a
a
lot
good
of
show.
spots to walk around.
Well, the
and
Bears
stuff.
Howler was there for so many years.
Oh, the Howler was
That
so
was
much
crazy.
I
fun.
didn't
seeing
get to see
shows
it
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw I think the last year's Howler or something. Billy Talent, I think it was one of those.
Yeah.
And Billy Talent.
They've done it before,
Billy-
too. They put on a good show.
Yeah.
And it was a fun time, but it was at River Cree.
Yeah.
and there's
that-
so many.
When it moved out to River Cree, it was like,
It wasn't bad. I went to the first one when they moved
just
it to
so
River
far
Cree.
away.
It was, but it was a good time.
yeah.
As staff, we lost our green room.
The green room was amazing.
That was what made it the best. And,
Yeah.
and when we used to work at 1260 with the Bear, obviously same company, the Howler had happened, and we'd have a small little room, and it was
Yeah.
a small room.
yeah, it was tight.
But it had free food, free booze, and a lone washroom. And there'd be many people that would just never leave that room
Yeah.
and go see the concert. And it'd be only if like you wanted to see the band, you'd be like, go see what's happening on the floor. Or once in a while, you'd be like, let's go just check what's happening.
That was a hell of a party, man.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then we moved away from there.
Yeah.
And it went to the River. And it wasn't. It was.
Different.
Because there was some 41 the first one. It was different, but it worked. I haven't gone to the last, I think, 2 that they've had. Maybe this year I'll go. I don't even know who the show is.
Howler was great. I remember my first one and just being in awe. And, like, some of the costumes that people create are amazing. Like, there was a guy, it was when Transformers was kind of still very, very much a thing. I know they've put out new Transformers movies, but a guy made a Bumblebee suit that he could, like, crumple into the car.
Yeah, and they give away prizes for each of them.
Yeah.
Like there's
And there'd be some people that would go
it's
all out
insane.
for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It used to be the Halloween party of the year.
was
And then all
amazing.
the radio stations started following their lead
Yeah.
and started doing it. Although, the one year I was so upset, and I should have planned it a little better, I dressed as Will Fraser. And Will, at the time, with the radio station, he would always have, like, oranges or stuff or granola bars and give them to people.
Yeah.
So I had a little satchel that I had with me, and I loaded up with oranges and granola bars and stuff to hand out throughout the night. And as I got to the entrance, they're like, you can't bring in food and stuff. I was like, well, I work for the Bear. Like, I work for the company.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, you know, like, don't. I was like, and like the Bear was like set up within eyesight of us.
Yes.
And Pam Kirby was hosting. I was like, you could go talk to Pam right now.
Yes.
Like, she'll confirm I work for this company and stuff. Like, I work for the Bear. And he's like, well, let's do it. I was like, go. Like,
Go get her.
And he's like, no. And so I had to throw it all out. And I was like, had I known that and I thought about that, I should have just given it to like the street teamers ahead of time to bring it in.
Yeah.
But that night I had a great time being Will. I played the part so hard. He used to like just always go tap people on the shoulder. And I would just like keep going up to people and being like, hey. And then Will would say things. And I remember I kept always like answering things like Will. And Jess Jackson at one point, like she told me after that a few times, she'd immediately think like, why is Matt talking like that? Like, why is he being an ass? And then it would clue in that I was being Will. I played the full part that night. That was my favorite costume.
Man, we went as
Had a fun time.
Ghostbusters one year and then semi-pro. It was awesome.
Another year, this was the River Cree one. I went as an inside joke about stuff that happened at the radio station. My one boss didn't like it. I remember he was really excited to like see what it was, and Yukon Jack booked a hotel room, and we were there beforehand.
Yeah,
and I was sitting at the far end of it, so he came up to me. He's really excited to see it, and he shook my hand and he looked at it, and then he like his face like went like stone faced, and then he walked to the other end of the room and like I don't think he liked that one.
Oof.
That just means it's a good costume.
For the staff, it was. The staff really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Nobody else knows you're not winning the prize. But.
No, and not a single person that didn't work with us would have understood it. Yeah. It was a straight, full-on inside joke. I was Mike the Bear listener. That's what it was.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
a P1.
I was the P1, and I just had the quotes from that thing all over me. It was great.
The weirdest is when they had those placards all over the walls, and you'd be like, "This is our target audience." Yeah. And we're like, "This is weird."
I should have kept one of those.
Yeah,
I really should have.
Yeah.
We should get those for around here.
What, the target audience thing?
Yeah, it was like a picture of a random dude.
Yeah, it was a big like poster board, and it'd have a picture of like a stock photo of someone, and it was like explaining what they are, and it was posted in the studios as a like you're supposed to think as you're doing your show.
Yeah.
That's who I'm talking to.
We did that at Nate,
and
that was fun.
Well, then one sales rep came in, and I remember she looked at it, and she's like, "What is this?" And Jane was like, "That's our target audience." And she looked at it, and she's like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Okay." Never. And then so
Go get
Jane and I took ours at 1260 down really quick. I put it behind a door, and I was like, "I'll see if anyone notices."
Probably still there.
And like no boss ever said anything.
Yeah.
And then eventually the FMs took it down and put them away, and yeah. Those were fun.
Those were fun.
We'd use AI to make ours. Like we would put like certain descriptor words and then prop it up, and it would just be an AI picture, and we'd print it for NR92, Nate radio station, and then just pin it up like either in the newsroom that was there on the other side of the glass or in the actual studio as well. And it was just like 3 different AI pictures, AI generated pictures with like the description. That's power of AI.
Sorry.
What are you playing? You're playing like a song on your phone?
Sorry.
No.
My bad.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots Hard Iced Tea, live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube. Nasty Bash coming up this Friday. If you want to get in, email me, Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. A few more spots still available, so just message me. I'll give you the details on the event that's taking place Friday with Dustyn and Eric taking to the microphone. Well, I don't think there was a microphone. Well, there wasn't last year, so Dusty and Eric taking to quieting the crowd and just yelling. Be a good time. So yeah, if you want to get in, Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Coming up in just under 30 minutes, it is the Lock Shop with Dusty and Huss. And then at noon, 2 guys in a goalie, Gager, Cass, and Dusty.
We're going to break down the Acolyte on 2 guys and a goalie, apparently.
What's that?
The Star Wars show.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's deep off season, man.
I liked our just obscure draft conversation that we had yesterday on the oil stream.
That was great.
Had a lot of fun with that one.
That was good.
It was great. We had a good time.
Also, there was a follow-up on Jason Bond Sr. from Jake in Ontario. Says, Jason Bond Sr., when I played against him, was not good. He was slow, and we won 9-2. So,
Yeah.
all right.
He tried. See, I think that the obscure draft knowledge talk from yesterday on the oil stream primed me for yesterday's thing. Now, if we're doing that, like the quiz thing,
Oh, the
I wonder what
Zachticum
category. Yeah, because it was like 90s baseball or something, or like MLB closers. I don't know, 60s cricket or something.
Oh, 60s cricket. Good luck.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to do like a CFL one.
Oh, there has to be.
Like not. I wouldn't go like 2000s Edmonton Eskimos.
Reggie
at the time.
Slack.
Like give me just like Jason Tucker,
Ah, great player.
Terry Vaughn,
Jason
player.
Tucker
Senior Mobley,
from the Seattle.
AJ Gass.
Yeah, Donnie Brady.
Wait, did you say Seattle?
Seattle Seahawks. It wasn't there a Jason Tucker?
Well, these are all
it?
Edmonton
We're
Talking about
Eskimos.
Eskimos.
I literally just
Same
said
name.
this is going to be
Yeah, I
Edmonton
know.
Eskimos of the 2000s.
Malcolm Frank Jr.
Oh, I loved.
He was really
the
good.
secondary that they had. Donnie Ashley, Malcolm Frank, Shannon Garrett.
Shannon
Garrett
Garrett
is probably my third
He
favorite
played forever.
player. Like it was Terry Vaughn, it was Giz, and it was Shannon Garrett. So actually, I have a jersey that is 23 because it was 2 for Vaughn, or 2 for Giz, 3 for Vaughn, 23 for Shannon Garrett. Kind of worked out really nice.
Was it Donnie Ashley that got stabbed?
What?
I don't remember Donnie Ashley getting stabbed. It could be. Donnie Ashley had his bike stolen once. JMO told this story, and then one day someone told him, "Hey, there's the guy that took your bike," and he went up and beat the guy with the bike.
That's awesome. I love that.
Like caught up to him and like took the bike and beat him with the bike. So
JMO's Alfred Payton stories are amazing.
taking him to court in the 2002 Grey Cup.
Yeah, right before the Grey Cup.
What?
Man. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He had to go to court.
Yeah.
2002.
He got into
the
an
Grey Cup was
altercation.
here in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And they were in the game, and he had to go and like drive him to court. And I remember Peyton because I at one point had like multiple quotes JMO has said, and I posted it on my wall next to my desk. And I took a picture, and I'll have to go find them. There was an Alfred Payton quote from that, and I don't remember what it was. It wasn't It's a Misunderstanding.
Didn't he beat the crap out of some guy?
Yeah, something like that. But I can't remember what he said to the judge. He said something to the judge that JMO. I'll have to. I doubt JMO's going to get back to me in
man.
time.
So somebody beat up somebody with a bike. What happened there? Did he get?
Well, so the Donnie Ashley's bike got
Yeah.
stolen because he
Yeah.
biked to the stadium
Yeah.
or whatever, and then it got stolen by someone like a homeless person maybe in the area or something like that. And then one day they saw the guy with the bike, and Donnie Ashley caught up to him and like
Beat him up.
grabbed the bike, and then beat him with the bike.
Yeah.
Oh, did he get in trouble for
Probably
beating
not.
him up? From,
Probably not
oh.
because no one would have known it except JMO, who's told the story years
Yeah.
later. And
That's why
who
JMO
cares?
needs to write the book. My S is effed up would be the name of it. That's the name of the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
My bleep's bleeped
My
up.
bleep is bleep up. Yeah.
It was that story I've said here before, but there was a player, special teams, got destroyed on a play.
Yeah.
And Kahari Jones, when he was at training camp with the Eskimos at the time, and JMO were together, and when the training staff went out there, and what happened? He went, "My bleep's bleeped up."
Yeah. JMO has some amazing stories. So 2000s CFL would be good.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
No, what are some of the best names in Edmonton football history that you guys are
Best
like?
names?
Yeah, just like funny names because there's always great names in sports. Like
Oh, I remember actually one because Spec. I made it a promo for the Spec show. His name was like Shea Puri or something.
Abutsky, Donnie Ashley was a wide receiver, not a DB. Or was that with Donnie Brady?
Donnie Brady. So I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Of, sorry.
Yeah, he's the one
Donnie
who got-
Brady. Thank you,
Someone
Butsky.
snapped him.
There was like Shea Puri or something they signed. And it was a very quick thing. And I remember just Spec reading the press release and going, "Ha, Shea Puri, that's a strip club." And that's the one I remember.
I will not be
Or
JMO's ghostwriter.
I'm texting him right now to see if I can maybe get the answer. He's busy, so I feel like...
Oh, there's got to be some legendary quotes and stuff from that. Like, man, I'm trying to think of some funny, like, sports name. Like, way back in the day, too. Like, 50, 60, 70 years ago, there were some funny names overall. But in recent history, are there any names that stuck out to you where it was like, wow, is that his real name?
Maybe I'd have to think. Jasmine texted a picture of Joe Burrow's new haircut. He looks
Joe Burrow has a new haircut?
Yeah, he's got the bleach blonde buzz cut.
Oh, he's like Slim Shady.
Eminem from...
Early Eminem, yeah.
Slim Shady?
Yeah.
That is an Eminem. That's Slim Shady.
Yeah, he's a month away from looking normal.
He's good for full contact now or something.
Is he?
Right? Like
Good.
he was practicing.
Well, NFL camp starts, so...
Oh, yeah.
Let's go Cardinals. Bird gang.
Let's get to Road Warriors, brought to you by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing of heavy haul trailers for mining, oil and gas equipment, highway transportation, quality, innovation, integrity, trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads, accusteel.ca. There's not, like, we're still in that time where there's not tonight a lot happening.
No, there is
But
not.
we're getting closer to Canada taking on New Zealand. Women's soccer, that gets going on Thursday. This is going to be fun. It's at 9 o'clock. So while you guys are doing the draft, I get to
You're
watch
watching soccer.
I get to watch
Olympics,
soccer.
let's
I get to
go.
watch our Canadian women as they're on the road or the path to trying to repeat as gold
is
medalists.
amazing.
Jay and I were talking yesterday when we were at Kelly's, because I did throw a couple bucks on this, that the Canadian women, from Edmonton, the Plouffe sisters,
Yes.
in that 3x3,
Yes.
they're at least unless it's changed, they are not the favorites on CoolBet.
Which is crazy.
It's because they're the ranked number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
So, what's the values of this one? What did I just do? I don't know.
So are there 3 sisters that are playing?
Two.
Or 2?
Well, it's two
okay.
sisters, but
They're from Edmonton.
yeah, we care about them. Plus 250. They're tied for second best odds. I'm sorry. I'm betting on the Edmontonians in this one. I
a
got
little
them at
sprinkle
plus
on
300. It's dropped a little bit, so So I'm excited to see what our Canadian women can do. 3x3, basketball, soccer, and then the men basketball. More than like almost anything else. The team events. We actually there's a lot of medals available for us.
Can
I
we
think
get
we
to
can
like
medal
40,
on all of them.
40 medals? Or is that too high?
40 medals. I think I saw something about 26 is the prediction for Canada.
40 would be amazing.
Canada 2024 medal hopefuls.
Well, how many total events are there?
Oh, there's so many.
Oh, like China and
There's
the U.S. will walk away with over 100 medals
Yeah.
each.
Yeah, there are tons.
They'll do a massive amount.
Germany's usually right up there.
Let's go Germany.
The UK is usually right up there.
Yep. This is from April of 24, so April this year. Projected to win 22 medals. 6 gold, 7 silvers, 9 bronze is the prediction. That was 100 days out. So I don't know what's changed. I don't know who's got in, who's got out, who's doing well, who's not. I would match the second highest total ever for non-boycotted summer games alongside Atlanta and Rio. But we did win 24 in Tokyo. Why is that a non-boycott? Who boycotted in Tokyo? That would match second highest total ever for non-boycotted summer games, but it's too short of the non-boycotted record 24. Oh, okay, I see.
24 medals is our best?
Is our best, and that was in Tokyo a couple of years ago.
That's it?
What do you mean that's it? I
lot of
recall
medals.
us getting nothing for the most part. We're
So 40 was way too lofty.
oh yeah, like 2000 Olympics. I'm gonna start going from there. I'm gonna see if I can find what we had. I remember the 2012
Own the podium.
I
Let's
remember.
go.
Well, that's actually a huge accomplishment. I remember 2012 London. We got 1 gold medal. It was Rosa McClendon on a trampoline.
Right.
That's all we could accomplish.
Are
Like,
we still good on the trampoline?
that's a great question.
I hope
I wonder how Canada is in skateboarding or breaking.
so. Oh, breakdancing?
Yeah. Don't they call it breaking?
So Canada in 2000, we had 3 golds, 3 silver, 8 bronze for 14 medals.
That was Simon Whitfield.
He
Who
got
else
one of
won
those.
gold?
Oh, I don't know if I could find that as quickly.
Clara Hughes. She was on. Didn't we win one in cycling?
Wrestling and tennis. Men's doubles, men freestyle, 69 kilogram, and triathlon. That's what we did in 2000. In 2004 in Athens, Canada, 3 gold, 6 silver, 3 bronze for 12 medals.
Jeez.
That year, our gold medalists were Kyle Schufelt in gymnastics,
Right.
Lorianne Munzer in cycling, Adam
Yes.
Vancouver in canoeing.
That Vancouver win was huge. Actually, all 3 of those were huge, but
2008, What did we do?
That was Beijing.
Yeah. 20th, so we had 3 golds, 9 silver, 8 bronze for 20 medals. We had a good year that year. And what were so our 3 gold medalists were wrestling, men's 8 rowing, and equestrian.
Okay.
2012.
Still an Olympic sport.
We're getting there. 2012, Canada, we had 2 golds that year. My apologies. 6 silver, 10 bronze for 18. So I know we got one on trampoline. What was the other one? Weightlifting. Women
Nice.
63 kilogram. And then, so we're getting to 2016 now. So this is about what we are as a nation. And look, we have a lot of snow and stuff. So like, we mix it up. 4 golds, 3 silver, 15 bronze. This is 2016. Our gold medalists were Penny Alexiak, Rosie McLennan. So swimming, gymnastics. We got athletics, and we got wrestling. We're pretty good in wrestling.
Yeah, we are.
I'm learning this right now. We're actually pretty strong in the wrestling. And then 2020, which is then our best, we did as a nation. Is it okay if I say we there, Tommy?
Yeah, that's all good.
7 gold, 7 silver, 10 bronze for 24. But we had
Nice.
7 golds that year.
Nice.
Which is a pretty big jump. We had swimming, weightlifting, women's 8 rowing,
Soccer.
athletics in 200 meter with DeGrasse, men's decathlon with Warner, soccer, and cycling, women's sprint.
Huge.
So there you go.
No wrestling.
This text says trampoline gold is such a huge accomplishment because they jump on the trampoline without the safety netting. Yeah, they go like 30, 40 feet in the air. It's amazing.
Jeez. When are they going to
Joel?
add esports to Olympic sports?
There
Stop
was talk of that going to Tokyo.
That's
and they never
not
did
sports.
How are you going to add breakdown? How do you...
Because you're physically
Breakdance
doing
as a sport.
something. Esports, you're playing on a controller and a screen.
You're physically moving your hands.
There's a lot of money to be made in esports, but it's not a sport.
They do
I'm
call
not
it
going
sport.
there. I am not going there.
I know they call
I
it
am
a
not
sport.
going there.
No, I always thought that it wasn't a
It's
sport.
not a physical activity.
I guess that's fair. I mean,
You're
every
playing
other
video
one is-
games.
I mean, skateboarding as well.
Yeah, that's physical
It's so
activity.
much fun to watch.
It's hard. It's challenging.
It is challenging,
What
but it's
else
more
is there?
the
It's
finesse of
Physically
it, right?
demanding.
Yeah, I guess so.
Archery?
I like
What's the difference between archery then and that one almost?
and video games.
Yeah, that's probably the closest
Yeah,
comparison.
that's-
You're not
honestly.
moving.
Yeah.
You're just...
Well, you
It's
said we
the
won a
hand-eye
gold in
coordination point.
equestrian. Like
And
I can't believe that's an Olympic sport still. No offense to people who ride horses.
That's
gotta move
physically
around.
demanding. Riding horses.
I believe it. Yeah, and it's dangerous too. Like, didn't an equestrian just pass away? She got the horse stepped on her head.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
like
not
it's
pretty. No. They're big
it
creatures.
is dangerous.
I've grown... I used to be the person that knocked esport, said it's stupid.
I have no problem with esport. I'm just
but-
saying don't put it in the Olympics.
I wouldn't be upset if they did.
Out
I
of
would
any of
be.
the times to put it in, it would have been in Tokyo because I mean, their internet cafes and stuff
Right.
just over there. They're very big to have sort of those esports kind of things. It's kind of in that culture.
But
I wouldn't be completely against it. Like, it is
No.
a big deal.
it is.
And a lot of people... And it's
I'm not-
competition.
I'm not besmirching it.
I
I'm
wouldn't
just
mind the
saying
Olympics.
I don't think it belongs in the Olympics. If there's an esport world champietships, there already
There
is.
is.
Oh,
And
there
there's-
is. Yes.
And there's a
huge
lot of
ones.
money to be
fair.
made. Some of those pros, they become social media, just become huge in social media. And like my brother always talked about Dr. Disrespect, even though he's in big trouble now, right?
He's he's getting canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He's been getting
inappropriate
Lots
contact
of
with a
stuff.
minor.
Yes.
Which is not cool
It
at
is
all,
not. no.
obviously.
No.
Was that the one that like brought her on the live stream or something and she said she was 16? Or is that somebody else?
There's probably multiple people to be
yeah.
honest.
Anyway,
He's
but
the
like
guy, yeah, with
they're
the
very
weird glasses.
popular. They're very popular, and rightly, like, don't get me wrong. There is skill involved with being very good at video games. Just like, and I have no problems with esport, just not in the Olympics.
I get that. That's fair.
Yeah.
You think it's too prestigious, the Olympics, to add it in, like for athletics, because of what it's supposed to be. I get that.
This is athletics.
I can live with that.
Esport is we're playing video games here. Come on,
I
which
just
is
can't wait.
amazing, but
I can't wait for 2028 for the flag football.
that's
I'm very
cool.
intrigued.
Like,
I'm just intrigued how Canada might do.
We should be good.
We should be second.
Yes.
I would think.
Yes.
I don't think we have a chance against number one. Tyreek Hill wants to go play. And the NFL is encouraging their stars to get ready to go play. So and there better only be one team from each country. I'm just going to say that right now. Sometimes there's things where you could put multiple teams. I did not want to see two Americas in that one. And I do believe, this isn't because I'm the president of the fan club, I think Trey Ford is my favorite to be the starting quarterback. Of flag football, with his speed,
that'd be amazing.
With his speed, he's my favorite to be our Canadian starting quarterback of that one. I don't know, receiver. Oh, Tyson Philpott would maybe be a big one.
What about Claypool?
He's not. I guess we'll see what he does over the next couple of years.
Yeah, he's got.
Who are the other Canadian receivers in the States in the NFL? I'd have to think and look. I'd want two good receivers with a good quarterback. That's what I'd be looking at. Or I guess I don't know how 3-on-3 works actually. Like how you build your roster. Do you need defenders? Do you play both sides?
Oh,
good question.
Then
now we need. I want a quarterback, one receiver, and I need a defensive back.
Like a really good DB.
Who could move around.
Yeah.
I mean, can maybe catch, but also then is going to play defense or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into this 3-on-3 or flag football because I'm intrigued by how the rules go. Or do you like how big's your roster?
I don't know.
I still think Canada we're favorites for silver right now.
In theory, be right there.
No one should be able to touch us.
Or could you realistically just pick somebody who doesn't play football, who is really fast, just to run?
No, because you got to catch a football.
Yeah, I guess you got.
What is running? And like running doesn't help. You got to be able to catch a football.
Yeah, I mean if you could catch other things, right? There's no contact, so you're not going to go pull in the football and then just get absolutely smacked. If you could catch, say, I don't know, a baseball or you just have good hand-eye coordination. You could practice catching a football.
It's not as simple
without the contact.
That's why they say defensive backs. They're the receivers who can't catch. That's why they play defensive back.
Yeah.
I'm getting more excited about the Olympics, not going to lie. Every day that passes. I love the Olympics, and I can't wait for opening ceremonies, and I'm just going to watch the hell out of it for two weeks. I got the CBC app is now out. I got it.
Yeah.
And it just gives you the schedule. And they give you the schedule for everything, but then they put a Canadian flag next to where Canada is and stuff and doing things. And
they do cover the Olympics extremely well.
Extremely well. And so, and then it's the best because set up notifications with the CBC app, and they'll tell you when, like, one, Canadian events are happening, or if there's something happening hopeful, they'll let you know, like, oh, medal hopeful is about to take, and you go, oh, could go watch this.
I'll be honest, I want to cover the Olympics so bad.
It'd be fun.
So bad. I don't, like, now that we're independent, like, how do I apply?
Okay, winter or summer?
I prefer summer.
2028.
Yeah.
Let's go to LA.
Hell yeah.
Let's cover LA.
Let's go.
I still have to tell Dusty. I don't think I fully
Bernstein's.
explained it to Dusty yet, but 2026, like I'm following Canada soccer around.
Hell yeah, you are.
I'm doing that. Maybe we could take EST with that a little bit. But Summer Olympics, let's do it in 2028.
Let's go.
Stay at Dennis Bernstein's live in LA.
That'd be amazing.
Let's get it done.
Or we go in the Olympic Village.
We'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, something.
2028. It's not 4 years away. We could easily plan for that.
Sure.
Done. It's going on my board.
Let's go. Put it on the board.
We're going to cover our first Olympics. Edmonton Sports Talk will be there in LA.
EST at the Olympics.
And we'll be there for the World Cup in 26. That's what we're going to do.
Aim low and achieve. Not this time around. Aim high and achieve.
Also Masters.
That'd be cool.
That's one of those
Put
I
in
want
for
to go to. I plan on it.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I think.
Let's go.
Is it going on the board?
It's going on the board.
Sure. I haven't put any of those type of things on the board, but they're going to go on the board.
Put them on there.
I got to redo that board a little
Got a
bit.
nice
Redo
big
it.
whiteboard.
I know, but I put some things on it from like August last year.
Yeah.
Of things that I needed to get done, and they're not done.
Ooh.
That's how much things have like
piled up.
We've had a lot to do around
Yes,
here
we
that I
have.
haven't been able to do, like these things that are written down, and I need to catch up on that.
Yes,
but,
yes.
At some point, I'll be
Joelle
caught
wants
up.
us to send her to the Winter Olympics.
I guess maybe. No, I don't know why.
All right, Joelle.
Why wouldn't we send ourselves to the Winter Olympics?
I don't know.
Why would we not send someone else?
She's yelling at us in all caps.
It's the chance to go see the NHLers back at the Olympics, best on best, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's about damn time too. I like this hangout. This was fun.
That was good. Went everywhere.
Started off with me talking about my redemption at ReMax, winner of the sauerkraut.
Yeah, there it is.
Eric got the false start. Couldn't take advantage of it. I played it smarter. I kept looking back. I saw where the horse was, grabbed it, and was gone. Wasn't even close. Trev, he could say he didn't try, but he said going into it he was going to try. Eric just doesn't know what he's doing. And Zach, I don't know what the hell you were doing there.
You won,
but I'm
get
the
it.
champ. I'm the champ. That's the thing. Well, I just got to make sure that's a little clear.
We get it.
And I was the champ of that. But it was a fun time at ReMax. And thanks for Dustyn with a Y.
That was awesome.
For joining us. Nasty Bash this Friday. If you'd like to get in, Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Send me an email over the next couple of days because we only have a few more spots left for that one. So I'll get you the info and I'll let you know that you're good to go. But thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots Hard Iced Tea on your clear choice for Edmonton sports. This all sports radio station that we've been doing here in Edmonton. On behalf of Tommy, Zach, I'm Matt. Thank you for watching. Coming up, it is the Lock Shop with Dusty and Huss. Don't go anywhere. That's going to get going in just a few minutes.
Look at this. Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,